But I need to add Greg.
You did. It's waiting for the guest.
It tells you to add.
Oh.
There we go.
Press add. You're not clicking the button.
I am.
Nope. You didn't? Okay.
We're live. Yep, now we're live.
All right, so we need to send that link back out to everybody.
Oh, what link is that? The one that you...
No, let me reshare it with you.
Well, you could also, if you're a subscriber, you can just go to what you subscribe to.
Here's the live one. Get shareable link.
You dropping it in the chat or in the things?
Yeah, so I'll do it. Oops.
Good morning, Emma.
Good morning.
When do you go back?
I'm going back like right now, so I'm trying to say goodbye to Dad.
Oh, yeah, you should totally give him a big hug on live TV.
No, you get out of live TV.
I'm out of live TV.
Whatever.
I'll see you this weekend.
All right, I love you.
I love you too.
Drive safe.
Yep, I will.
Okay.
I'll text you when I get back.
All right. All right.
The new link in the chat, or are we good?
New link's in the chat. I sent it out to everyone.
Okay, we are live. All right, we're waiting for the game to begin here. Just watching a little Sanders Love video right now of the two children and the coach. We're trying to describe it for you. This is the first time we're doing play-by-play.
That's right. Well, welcome to the Buffcast. We are the Buff Brothers, representing the right-hand coast of the United States from the great metropolis of Syracuse, New York. I am one of your co-hosts, Todd Luttrell, and on the right-hand side of my screen is the other Buff brother representing the left-hand coast of this great nation.
I'd say more like the central area of the United States, like California. But I'm Greg Luttrell, and I am probably about 30 miles from the stadium right now. I am a proud CU graduate from 1995.
That's a good year. Yeah. Also a CU graduate from later that decade in 1998. So we have been... Oh, get it, Greg. Yeah, there you go. We got Kelsey Ross jumping into the chat early and often.
Yeah, get it, Greg. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So we welcome you to the train wreck that may not happen today, but likely will happen. We're experiencing some awesome technical difficulties, whereas the person 30 minutes from the stadium actually gets a live feed, and my delay on my feed is a good anywhere between 10 and 30 seconds. So I'll be doing some stats research in the background while Greg's watching the game.
Yeah, exactly. I can see it live. We're about to run Ralphie. I think this is Ralphie 4 here. This is a young one. I think this one's only 2 years old. Most of the Ralphie have been female buffaloes. And, yeah, that was one of the highlights, man. Every time you went to a CU football game was getting Ralphie out on the field.
Get out of the way with Ralphie. I could never keep up with Ralphie.
No, yeah, and that's a little known fact here to anybody that's on our Sportscast right now. There is a little bit of a living legend, on the screen to my left there, Todd. He had a little bit different insight into the Buff world than I did. I was just a student there, and got to live with him for a few years. But he was kind of a legend there. So he happened to be the one that donned the costume. Donned the chip costume.
Chip costume. Now we've got a face of it here, but not the same face I remember from the 90s. That's for sure. It's been upgraded, and Chip does a lot more cool stuff nowadays.
Chip does do a lot of cool stuff nowadays, but it was still a lot of fun back in the day because we used to have what we called the Shrine Day Chip. In our apartment there, we had this one little section. It was really probably built for a table and chairs to eat in. And we had Chip hanging from everywhere and multiple fans in there when he would get done to try and dissipate the sweat and the smell and everything else that came with that. And my wonderful wife, she spent many years there re-sewing on horns and fixing things on that costume in order to keep it together.
That's right. Yeah. It was high quality, and we did all right. It stunk for any of you. I think we've got some hockey folks out there. You know the stink we're talking about. but that it gets trapped into those fibers and you just can't get it out.
Exactly. So, all right, Buffs are taking the field right now, hooting and hollering. Hopefully at the end of the game, they'll be hooting and hollering still, as opposed to going home or staying home, going to the locker room, not winning this one. But I'm not going to see it today. I don't have in the game, but I think
well, I mean, I think there's a lot of information we can get into here, Greg. You've done a little bit of work on CU's track record against Utah Utes, which has not been good. They really started playing Utah in a head-to-head every year when they joined the Pac-12 conference, and off and on before that in the Big 12. I don't even think they played in the Big 8, but not good.
But yeah, this rivalry, it's not really a rivalry, I'd say CU CSU kind of a rivalry, CU Nebraska rivalry, but this one dates back to 1903, and the Buffs have been on the losing end for 7 straight years and 9 of the last 10 years. In fact, Utah leads the overall series. They've played 70 games, and Utah leads 35 wins, 32 losses, and 3 miserable ties.
Miserable ties. Well, today the hope and on paper the Buffs should have the advantage, but every game aside from 1 or 2 this season has been a nail biter, and it seems as though when things go good, they go great. When things go mediocre, it becomes much tighter than it needs to be. Just think back to the K-State game.
I know. And, there's a lot of good Buffs in the house today. Joel Klatt is announcing on Fox today. He's an ex-Buff quarterback. Tried his hand at the NFL, but ended up an announcer. He got too many little conks to the head there, and that was that. But Cordell Stewart, who was the quarterback while both of us were there, he was at the big noon Fox, I guess, start to the whole thing. And they even went back to the days where we were there. One of the most famous Hail Marys when
Miracle in Michigan.
Yeah, and he threw it about 70 yards in the air, and Michael Westbrook caught it off the tip. Yeah, that was nice to remember that.
Recall that was the year before I took on the Horns on Chip, and one game that you want to go to, and I do remember that day. Everyone's door was open in Boulder, and you could hear a collective yell when that football hit Westbrook's hands.
Oh, yeah, it was kind of crazy. It erupted. And funny thing was that day, like with about 7 minutes left, I gave up on that game. I was just, some people would say, what kind of fan are you, But I did. I was so disgusted. It was like the drive before that. Cordell, I think, had fumbled on the 1-yard line or something along those lines. And I was like, all right, I got to go for a walk. And I start walking, and 5-10 minutes later of walking, I was just irritated. And all of a sudden, the entire city of Boulder erupted, and people were running out in the streets. And I was like, "What in the world just happened?" And that's what happened, And then they were showing in the pregame broadcast there. Super fan Peggy, she turned 100 this week, and they had a birthday cake for her.
Oh, Peggy, and so those who don't know Peggy, she had a twin sister as well, and the twin sister had passed away. But I recall back in the 90s showing up to volleyball games, football games, basketball games. Those two were at every single game. So love that Peggy gets celebrated for being the committed fan and really just an icon there in Boulder.
Yeah, I doubt she walked out, from that Michigan game with 5 minutes. But anyway.
No. I remember that. So that Michigan game was great, and then I got to go to the return game the next year or 2 years later, and we ended up losing that game. I saving myself for walking off the field with 3 or 4 minutes left because I think it was decided at that point. I don't recall the score. I can look that up, but I think it was 27-10 or 13 or something like that.
27-10. All right. Well, the Buffs got a ball to start the game. We got Sanders behind center. He's doing pretty well. He's projected to be a top 10 draft pick, number 1 quarterback going in the NFL this year. He's got just short of 3,000 yards passing. His accuracy is one of his biggest assets. Plus, he's mobile. He's 73% of his passes land. Oh, first pass. See, announcer's curse. First pass of the game. He throws it to the other team, interception, runs it back. They got it at the bus 20. Oh, my goodness. What a crappy start.
On my TV screen, we haven't made it to that spot yet, so I'm still living with hope.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Yeah. So not a good start, but
nope. The guy was wide open. If he puts a little bit of air under the ball, he would have caught it for about 25, 30 yards, but instead he threw it on a rope right to the linebacker.
Not a good start, but we got some representation from the family in the house. We got Sid up there in the greater Green Bay area, texting in and tuning in, which is fabulous. And we've got another Luttrell who's probably about 18 feet above my head currently, sitting on the couch somewhere, taking in our fine broadcast today. So.
I know, that's awesome. And we'll give a shout out there, St. Norbert women's hockey.
Oh, yes.
Don't ever get the chance to tune in, you should. You can go to snc.edu, click on the athletics, and be able to pull up their team. And we got some other athletes in the house, I think. Emma just left, and you can go to Lafayette Swimming and catch some of her meets.
Yeah, big meet this weekend up against Lehigh, their big rival, and then the Lehigh football game is the next day. So Friday night is the swim meet. The Lehigh football game is Saturday, and that is currently the longest running rivalry in football. I think it's a version 156 or 157 at this point. So should be a good weekend.
Nice, that will be a good. Yeah, the St. Norbert women's hockey takes on Marion for the last of their two games this week at 3:30 Central Time today. So that'd be 2:30, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. So, yeah. Where's Linda? I don't know. You might have to text her and see where Linda is.
That's right. That's right. Now there you go. And we got some call in from Jack Tower. Let's go, Travis, for Heisman. Yes. Thanks for joining, Jack. Love it. Love the love for Travis.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. He's that false start again by Utah. Goes from a 3rd and 1 to a 3rd and 6.
Hey, we'll take what we can get. 3:30. 3:30 is the St. Norbert game. Tune in. They are excellent games. Even when they show up and head to Adrian. Those are some of the best games you're going to see all year. Those two top teams in that conference.
I know. Maybe this year will be the year they finally break the curse of Adrian and figure out how to beat them. That would be nice. So, yep. All right. It's going to be 3rd and 6 when the game returns in a few minutes. Of course, they need their timeout time right now. So we're just, get to watch fun commercials here.
Well, we can fill in on a bit of stat work here. I've got the Netflix boxing match Circle of Death circling on my screen. So we got some fun stuff going on.
Oh my gosh. If anybody watched that last night, that was broadcasting at its best last night. I felt like I was watching old dial-up analog from like 1990s, at that point. Oh, look at that. My dad's texting us right now saying, hey, the game's on, guys. Yep, we know.
We are here.
Dad, if you were on our podcast, you would know we are watching it live right now.
Some of us.
Let's see here. All right. So I think I got a cool thing a couple of years ago. What was it? Bus had a kicker by the name of Cole Becker. He decided when Dion came into town and brought his Louis Vuitton luggage that he didn't want to be a part of that program anymore. So now the guy kicks for Utah. He's killing on extra points, 20-20, but that field goal percentage is only 70%. Let's hope that it comes down his leg somewhere in there and the chance to miss a field goal that sends the Buffs on to victory today.
Or yeah, it's just far enough out that we don't need to worry about a field goal. But when we give them some free yards on the first play of the game, that field goal at worst is the best thing that we can do.
I hope so. That's what I'm hoping for here, is that there are a couple false start penalties will lead to worst a field goal here, and the Buffs get off the field, because I don't think Shadur's going to throw another interception this game. That was a whoops there. That's not how you want to start a game against Utah, because Utah is usually pretty big and physical, and obviously the fact that we've lost 7 straight, we have a hard time solving this team.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Chip has got the military uniform on today in support of military appreciation.
We do love that guy.
We do love Chip there. I wish you still had your Chip costume from years ago. That would have been fabulous.
It's one of my big regrets being that being that right person to turn it in, knowing that I had a second costume. But
Oh,
I did see. I don't know if you remember, Greg, one of the other guys who was Chip at the time, Cameron.
yeah.
He ended up keeping it and ultimately donated it. I think it's in one of the Buff museums now on campus. So I was glad to see that at least somebody had the smarts to keep it.
They didn't end up giving the false start penalty. We come back, we leave on commercial, and they give them a false start penalty. And we come back, and they had rescinded the false start penalty. And Utah just took a QB sneak and went forward for about a yard and a half. It is now 1st and goal, right inside the 10-yard line.
That's 10. All right.
See if the
Well,
defense can hold. If they can hold to 3 points, that's the best thing I think we could hope for. All right, 2nd down and goal from the 6. And for anybody that's been to Folsom Field, Utah, right now, they are moving towards the Colorado end zone with the big Colorado in it. I think if I remember correctly, that's an asphalt end zone. Todd, did you?
oh yeah. You can skateboard on it quite nicely up it. It's got a nice bank to it.
Yeah, that's just it. And when you fall, it probably hurts.
It does. Yeah, you do some rolling, but in looking at some of the notes here on, so it looks like it's going to be a little further here, but the Bucks red zone defense this year is ranking reasonably high, which is good, and certainly within the Big 12 has looked pretty good.
Let's see here. Talking about the defense, I think this year they've got 28 sacks on the season, which is actually pretty good. Utah's only got 16, so I think our front line and a lot of what our defensive coordinator does, kind of creates some chaos for other teams. And he's actually, I think, a new defensive coordinator as of this year. He actually
Young guy.
well, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the Buffs can hold here.
Be a big stop, yeah.
It'd be a huge stop. Oh, got him. Yes.
All right. There we go.
15. All right.
Oh, big sack. All right. So there we go.
Right.
So that's gonna put some pressure on that kicker that you were talking about, Becker, and hopefully Becker is not as accurate at 30+ yards.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully he's just not up to the task, but that was a good play. Coverage was tight on that one, and of course you're going to have Travis Hunter on their top receiver. So I think he pretty much shuts down their top receiver every game for any.
Nice. Anytime they can get pressure on us, I think you had noted the Utah quarterback is the younger brother of current Bronco 2nd or 3rd string backup Zach Wilson. It's Isaac Wilson.
It is. He's 3rd string and has been inactive on the Broncos roster for the last couple of years. He was actually a 1st-round draft pick of the Jets a number of years ago, and the Broncos, for whatever reason, decided they wanted to trade for him.
Pick him up, yeah. He hasn't played a lot, but
he played in preseason, and that was the last we saw of him.
Yeah.
But at least the word on the streets is I think the Broncos like his arm talent. He's got a good live arm, and say it's actually stronger than Nick's arm. But really, what's gotten him to where he is, where he's a 3rd-string quarterback, is his decision making. The guy throws more interceptions than he throws touchdowns.
That doesn't bode well in the NFL, that's for sure. So, all right, Utah kicks a field goal, cashes in on Sanders' interception. First pass of the game, interception. They march down. The Buffs defense holds pretty well, holds them to a 3-point conversion there, which is way better than falling behind. How they did the last number of weeks. They fell behind early and had to chip their way back, certainly in the Texas Tech game.
Yeah, and even saw something with Sanders at the beginning of the game when they had interviewed him, probably this morning sometime. He was talking about how they needed to get off to a fast start and not have the slow, sluggish starts that they've had the last couple of weeks. So that obviously didn't happen again today. So I guess we'll see what they're
have to figure it out from there. Yeah, exactly.
It seems to be a problem with all, Colorado teams. I mean, the Avalanche last night, goalie saw first two shots, both of them went in. We were down 2-0 5 minutes into the game, and the Broncos seem to fall behind every week. So it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's the Rocky Mountain air or something.
Yeah, it's a Colorado thing right now. So, well, we'll give it the second attempt here and figure out what the Buffs can do with kind of their whole pre-scripted first drive still ahead of them to
Yeah.
move the ball down the field.
One of our chat comments, Jackass, is 10 a.m. considered prime time? Well, on Fox, I don't have a clue. They have games at 10, 1, 4, 8, probably even midnight. Who knows? They try to fit as many games in as they can.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do like the ones that start at 10:30 Eastern time. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, they 8 o'clock here p.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, those are the fun ones that we go to bed the next morning basically after watching it. So,
Yeah.
but the product the CU is putting on the field right now, way better than the last couple of years. That's for darn sure. This is at least a lot more fun to watch than when they went 1-11 2 seasons ago. That was pretty brutal.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, when you wait and watch the game and go to bed at 2 a.m. and they happen to be wiped out because they're playing. Even I'm not saying Cal Bears are that bad, but even Cal thumping them, that's not good.
Right on. Look at that. A great kick return right there. Took the kickoff and got back to, I think, about the 47-yard line, maybe.
All
So
right.
like, we're going to have great starting field position. I know the Cal Bears, or it couldn't be any worse than last year. But Buff Bros here, we were down in Florida when they played Stanford. We were up 28-0 at halftime, and we said, "Oh, this game's over." We went to bed because we were on Eastern time, and woke up the next morning, and the Buffs lost like 41-38. Going, what?
Yeah.
The heck
Yeah,
happened?
I haven't slept a week since. Figure it's the curse. But speaking of Cal, there was I think Syracuse is out playing Cal today. It's being more hometown Syracuse. So I thought, hey, getting out of Syracuse and ended up in Berkeley for a day, probably not the worst thing.
Oh, look at that. That is a great start to the second drive. Not only do they have good starting field position, but they hand the ball off to, I always have a hard time, Isaiah Augustave, and he just ran the ball for about 14 yards and a first down. That's a good sign when you run the ball.
If they can run the ball. And I see Jack weighing in that you actually went to bed before the end of that BYU Utah game. Shame on you, Jack. Come on. You got to stick with it, even though they got jobbed a bit by the refs.
Yeah, they did.
That would have been huge. I mean, I was hoping to wake up and know that BYU lost because they were down the majority of that game, or it was close. And I thought, Utah's got this. Utah's going to close it, and then they did not.
Oh, look at that. Second run play of this series, and big number 77, Seaton, got flagged for holding. Let's see here. Let's watch the replay and see if it really is a hold. I don't know if that's a hold.
Never a hold.
Handling that guy, that he outweighed that guy by like 50 pounds. I think, number 3 is wanting the ref like Tom Brady.
Well, dude, we're getting personal on the ref already. It's early.
I know. Well, what was it? Mahomes last week against the Broncos. He was sitting there. Oh, we just got sacked on top of that. Come on.
Oh boy. All right. So that's a good back-to-back start there.
Oh yeah. We take the 10-yard penalty. Then Shadir sits in the pocket too long. Second and 24. But I'm not going to lose hope here because I've watched them make too many of these plays where they're good. And they'll, we got a talented crew of receivers, probably one of the best in the country, honestly. You got Travis Hunter, you got LaJohntay Webster, Will Shepard, Jimmy Horn Jr. I mean, you got a bunch of talented receivers out there, and Shadur is holding it and then just throws it away. So it's going to be 3rd and 24.
All right, well, it's better than holding on to it and going down for another sack, which tends to sometimes be his downfall of trying to extend plays too long.
Oh, is it going to be roughing the passer? Hold on, let's see what we got. They're focusing on the Utah coach right now. Wouldn't shock me if it's roughing the passer. That would be huge right there.
But that would be, in addition to the yards, that's an automatic first down, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. That's what we're looking for. What are they calling here?
Yeah, I think 81 drug him down.
Oh no! They called an eligible man downfield on us on top.
Oh my gosh.
Holy buckets! They declined. It's going to be 3rd and 24. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a late hit there, but let's see where number 66 was. Yeah, he was probably about 5 yards down the field. Maybe he's actually could have been a receiver on that play, I think.
Yeah, he was open. Yeah.
Earlier, whoever he was throwing the ball to right there, that guy was wide open, waving his arms like, "Hey, help me, help me!"
Just waited too long. Yeah.
He was on a deserted island or something. Oh, come on, baby, come on! All right, we got about 20 yards of that back. Webster caught that. He's the leading receiver on the team behind, you guessed it, Travis Hunter. And I think they're going to go for it. We're on the plus side of the 50 right now.
You got to go, and they got an offense that can make it tick if they can.
Absolutely. I mean, if I were dialing this up right now, I'd roll him out and then let Shadur have the choice of throw it or run it. Yep. Get it athleticism out on. Oh, that should have been a flag right there. Yep, free play. It was a flag and touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice
going from the depths of 3rd and 24 to a touchdown in a matter of mere seconds.
Say it right there. They can make it.
Not giving up hope.
No, I didn't want giving up hope on that. I've seen him do it too many times now. Shadur Sanders baited them into probably a hard count right there, and one of the linebackers jumped the line. That was it. And he underthrew this ball a little bit, but Shepard, who's turned into a big weapon, I think that's his 5th receiving touchdown of the season and his 5th straight game with a touchdown.
I think the best thing about what they have there, you noted it on the receiving core, is that they can spread it around to a bunch of different weapons. When they're all healthy, if you recall, I don't know, was it the K-State game when Horn got knocked out, and Shepard got knocked out, and Travis Hunter got hurt, and everyone, and we still almost came back to win it.
Yeah, we had 5 minutes left in that game.
Yeah, when you got them all healthy, it gives Shadur so many different options.
Yeah, and I even heard a rumor this week that depending on who has the number 1 pick and if he's projected, meaning Shadur, to be the number 1 pick, if they don't like who that is, Shadur may stay for an extra year and somehow negotiate an 8-figure NIL deal with somebody.
Oh, dang, that's well, yeah, I'd heard that as well. That Deion's has already put it out there how selective he's interested in having his son go and represent their team. And I feel like this is going to be an Eli Manning situation back when he got drafted by the Chargers, but he told them straight out, "I'm not playing for the Chargers."
Oh yeah,
ended up pretty well for Eli Manning at the Giants.
It did. 2 Super Bowls later, and now him and his brother are, they got their little podcast going on like Sunday nights or Monday nights. I mean,
if anyone's heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Manning brothers, something like that. I mean, they copied us, the Buff Bros, but I mean, that's all right.
Yeah, we just need to be able to patch in, like, it could be anyone. Let's get Nick Saban on here and see what he has to say.
Yeah, I think so. We should try to reach out, get some good guests to join us on this at some point in time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's well, it's good to know that we came back 7-3. That's a good rebound from the early interception, the defensive hold, and now we're moving it forward.
Let's see here. We got Jack chiming in that Chase Roberts is the best receiver we've never heard of, and you're absolutely right. I've never heard of Chase Roberts. I'm going to Google Chase Roberts right now. The power of the Google here. Let's hear. He's a BYU receiver. Let's see what his little stats look like this year. Let's see what. Well, first off, he's got a hell of a mullet going on in his BYU picture there. I mean, he's going bald on top and got, flowing.
He's looking good. Yeah, he's had a good year. 37 receptions, 588 yards, 4 touchdowns with an average of almost 16 a touch. He's doing all right.
He is doing all right. He looks kind of like a Steve Largent kind of receiver. One of those guys that's not going to streak by by the cornerback, but he's going to be a good possession receiver. He's smart, probably knows where to sit down in the zones, make himself available. Good target for.
Yeah, good call out, Jack. Yeah, we good to educate on folks that we hadn't seen. And since you stayed up late watching that BYU Hawaii game, I'm assuming that there's some connection there with BYU and or Hawaii. Otherwise, maybe you're just bored late at night, and that's the game to watch.
I think so. Let's see. All right, we kicked it off, and decent return out to the 33-yard line. Special teams at time this year has definitely let us down. I mean, that K-State game, special teams was our downfall at that point. Gave up a return for a touchdown right after we had scored. And then at some point, I think we gave up another 70-yard punt return or something. So it's been a few times this year our special teams have been not so special.
Well, or too special, and it gives up the advantage that you just got back. I think we saw that early on in the even the UCF game back earlier in the season. Like CU was really impressing their will, but then they would give up a big play to open the door at least a little bit.
Oh,
fortunately,
fumble! Oh, look at that! Utah tries a running play right off the bat, and the ball.
All right.
The running back got it back, but the ball got laid on the carpet.
That is what we like to see.
That would have been really nice if that had really happened. Oh, man. It was on the ground. Oh, we just couldn't get to it. Everybody was looking at it from the bus side of the ball and just couldn't. Nobody could move fast enough to grab it.
You have it on the carpet that long, someone's got to gobble it up.
I know. And the running back ended up getting it back.
That was quite a pile. People were digging it in under there.
Yeah, let's see what we can do here. Oh, nobody throw it to. There was a hold in there. He did throw it. Let's see here. The refs totally missed a hold in there, but that's all right, I guess.
Oh, nice. Jack has that connection on the BYU side. Noting he's got that 4-season deep BYU dynasty mode, and Parker Kingston sending him an autographed jersey after he just reached out to him. Hey, my wife teaches at Syracuse, and she always tells her students, if you don't ask, you don't know, right? And why not? So, hey, props to you, Jack, for reaching out and connecting with somebody, and you'll have to share a photo of that once you get it.
Yeah. All right. It is 3rd down and 7. Buff's been pretty locked down on coverage. They just run. Oh, they threw the ball up, and the receiver just totally fell down. The turf monster took him out.
Monster. Who took what receiver? Which number was he? Let's check him out.
Right there. He's their number 1 receiver. The crazy thing is Singer has 100+ yards receiving this year and 0 touchdowns.
Wow. He's their number 1.
He's their number 1 in receiving right there. But, man, I can tell you, Warren Sapp has done wonders for that defensive line. Last year, our defensive line, they couldn't.
Oh, it was a sieve.
It was, man. Yeah, I mean, seriously, kindergartners could have run through our line last year, with the ball. But this year, oh, heck, there we go. Punt, return. Oh, he could go. He is. He's going all the way.
All right. To the house.
It's LeJounte Webster, number 10, right there. Just ran back about 65 yards on a punt return. That's what we.
Again, it's that you are, that you have a superior team. It's capitalizing in each of the different areas, and if you can get up early, you're really going to limit. Now they can sit back. They can get one more, put another score on the board here. They're going to limit what Utah really can do and cut out some of that running and really let the corners and everyone else and the cover folks jump in and have a day. I think I saw that some of the top cornerbacks in the country, the number 1 or one of the top cornerbacks in the country who is not called Travis Hunter, he plays at Michigan. That dude only has 3 interceptions so far. I'm sure I'll pull up the stats on the interception leaders, but for Travis to have 2 and play 98% of the snaps on offense and defense, today would be a good day for him to rack up some stats.
It would be. Ah, man, and Jack is just like everybody else went quiet. Jack's he's probably an audience of 1 right now.
We love you, Jack.
About the receiver there that used to play ball against him in high school. So that's you got all kinds of connections here. We've got what 3 people? Yes, you know, I mean,
we got 1 thumbs up. Hey, we've only been live 36 minutes. We got 1 thumbs up.
I know we're reaching a national audience, right? Our audience is very knowledgeable, obviously, about it, and they got ties to everybody.
Yeah, getting back to the let's see, interception leaders. Let me see if I can pull this up here quickly.
I can tell you that Travis Hunter has 2 for the season. He actually had a third. He got a third one last game, but offsides penalty on the D line.
That negated it. So we got a ways to go for Hunter to climb up there. Noel Williams from Cal currently sitting at 7 interceptions, and then we've got a group at 5, including Cam Lockridge, Terrence Spence, and Coy Parrish. It does take a while for us to get down to 2. So adding a third would be a great find today for Travis Hunter to climb the list, continue with getting good yards on the offensive side, but really locking everything down and padding his stats on the defensive side.
Look at that. Jack's chiming in. R.J. Anderson was the Syracuse QB. I don't. Todd, that's you, man. You got the Syracuse connection there.
Yeah. We love Syracuse. We love we've been here about 8. This is our 8th year, and enjoy that they actually now have a fabulous coach that we brought up from Georgia, and he's changed really the perception of Syracuse and how they approach it. I think they're actually selling out games at the Dome again this year, which is up until recently which was good, and they do end their season against Miami, which would have been a massive game had Miami not lost last week, but still going to be a really good game.
Miami, it's just been hanging by a thread. Oh, look, they're showing highlights from the last time the Buffs beat them, 2016. The Buffs ranked number 9 in the nation at the time, won 27-22, and Utah was ranked number 22 in the nation at the time. So that was the last time, 2016. Man, I was like 4 years old back in 2016.
that leaves me at like 3 or 2, so it's I don't recall it very well. That was during our dark years of the Boulder years. But Jack coming in with huge comments here as well. Yeah, the Michigan and Travis Hunter, totally agree with you. It's hard to get interceptions when you don't get the ball thrown your way, which tells you what you do on defense anyway. But in a bigger sense, taking advantage of it in those rare times they throw it your direction is what those 2 guys do. So,
oh, look at that, a low bullet of a kick. Got a hop. Let's see if CU can knock this guy down. They did. Got him at about the 14-yard line, I think. That's a great kickoff right there. Shut their kick. Who was it? I think it was Singer that was their return last return. He got him out to the 33, and if it's the same guy, then he didn't make it very far this time, and that's good because Todd, I agree with you. If we can get a big lead here with the Buffs, they're going to have to throw it a lot. And Warren Sapp has got that defensive line working well. They're putting a lot of pressure on young Isaac Wilson, whose brother, obviously is 3rd string quarterback still for the Broncos. But Isaac Wilson was thrown into this. I remember watching Reese. Oh, Isaac Wilson on a read option quarterback just got mushed by Bentley. Back there, he kept it. He should have handed that ball off. I don't know what he's seeing.
His stats this year, we got Isaac Wilson at a 55.4 completion percent. So it speaks to kind of that strategy. You can get up and turn them one-dimensional. Every 1 out of 2 likely is either going to be inaccurate, off target, or they may get some yards on him. But let's get him in that mode.
Oh yeah, and he's thrown 8 touchdowns, but 8 interceptions. So some of those off-target throws end up in the midst of the opposing team. Oh, fumble? Nope, they're calling it incomplete pass. Man, I thought he had it, and we knocked it out again. The Bentley guy. I mean,
nice.
Guy's driving a Bentley apparently. I mean,
guys turn up. Well, thinking about Isaac Wilson's stat line really mirrors his brother's stat line, even on the Jets. Like, let's throw as many touchdowns as interceptions, or in the case of, unfortunately for Zach Wilson, he had more interceptions than touchdowns.
I thought he had that. I thought he made a football move. He did it. He tucked it, and then 23 smoked him. Bentley picked it up and ran it in, but apparently the refs didn't see it that way. They wanted to give Utah a fight.
Utah another chance, yeah.
I mean, that would have been a sweet scoop and score right there. Oh, there we go. He's going deep, overthrows his receiver by 15 yards. There's that 50% accuracy, right?
Yeah, 55%, 55.4. That's what we're banking on today. And again, so this next drive would be wonderful for the Buffs to take some time, establish the run game, spread it out to some of the wide receivers as necessary, and roll in for another touchdown would be ideal. Let's get it to an 18-point lead.
I agree with you. I think if we, I don't want to have a repeat of the Stanford game last year. Oh, we almost blocked the kick. Oh, I think we got a piece of it because that kick it came off very wobbly. Looks like it's going to be first down for the Buffs on their side of the 50 at the 45. But I think number 25, Wester, I think he got a piece of that kick and almost got, it must have gone right through the wickets.
No, they are showing up on defense today for sure. While we're at the pause in other games around the nation, we've got Texas leading Arkansas 7-0.
Oh, look at that! Northwestern is leading OSU right now 7
in the second quarter. 7-0. Yeah.
Go Northwestern! Anybody that beats the Ohio State, I am on the bandwagon. That was the first play. We tried one of those flanker screens and
blown up
that very well and shut that down. I think a 2-yard loss on that play that did not set up well from the get-go. That's the one thing, man. I can tell you, Pat Shurmur, I'm not a big fan of his as an OC. He throws those flanker screens, and they're just sometimes do not work there. We tried it again on the other side, managed to get 4 yards positive for third down and about 6 or 7 right now. But, man, that's 2 straight screen plays to the flankers.
They got to, it would be wonderful to start seeing some of these runs. Like, now we're mixing it up. They're expecting this. Spread it out. Now let's pound it for a bit. Get the dude some food. Some of those running backs. They've been. There's only been a couple games this year, a handful of games that we've had over 100 yards rushing, and very few where we've actually had a single running back who rushes for over 100 yards.
Oh, well, we're going to punt it. We had beautiful field position through 2 lousy screens, and then on third down, sits back there. Nobody can get any separation as far as receivers. And, Travis Hunter was wide open to begin with. Right off the get-go, he was open, but Shadur must have not been looking his way.
Not his direction.
Yeah, on the other side, there was a missed hold on Shepard. The Utah cornerback was grabbing his jersey all the way down the field, just hanging on for dear life. So that was a pretty piss-poor missed call.
Oh, boy. All right, yeah. Well, give it back. We've got,
touchback. We just punted it into the end zone.
Couldn't take advantage of the gift of field position, and now we gave it back to them.
I'm on your bandwagon, though. I think at that point, they need to be running the ball a little bit. Did this actually go into the end zone? Yeah, it did, unfortunately. But I think we need to be running the ball. I mean, we're up 14-3 right at midfield. Why not run the ball?
Yeah, feed those dudes. The running backs are hungry.
Yeah, they are. And quit throwing. I mean, that drive took less than a minute off the clock. We only moved the ball 4 yards. And then with the punt going in the end zone, it was only a net change of field position about 30 yards. That's giving them a little bit of life. Not what we wanted.
Yeah, you need to keep the stranglehold on the momentum. And
there they go. They hand the ball off on 1st and 10. Our linebackers are just filling the holes well. It's going to be 2nd and 8 right now.
That's a good thing. If you remember back early on, remember when we got 8 up at Nebraska and others, the linebackers were absent for those games.
The whole defense was absent for half of that game. But
Yep.
that, I will say, was the turning point this season with
Oh yeah.
their D, because Nebraska did everything they wanted in the first half, rolled up 28 points on them, and then they got 0 after that. And since that time, the defense has shown up.
Oh, they have. Yeah. Yeah, and Jack, I like your description of this backup quarterback. Yeah, because I think the other Utah quarterback, Cam Rising, I think that's his name.
No,
He's been around since like the 1970s. I think he plays. And
yeah,
I like your description of Bongwater, although we need some more context there because there's probably different quality and levels of Bongwater that you can be compared to. It could be that real stank stuff that's been around for months and months, or it could be the fresh stuff. So
I think so. And Cam Rising, you talked about him. He was the starter, and he went down in the Baylor game, late hit downs. So the dude shoved him into the Gatorade big 5-gallon jug thing and broke his hand or jacked his thumb up or something. And he was toast. Oh, there we go. Travis Hunter just gave up about a 20-yard play to their number one receiver, Singer, again. That guy was running a little bit free across the middle. That's not what we want to see right there. Good release, and Hunter just didn't stay
just
with.
behind him. Yeah.
And that 50% passing accuracy right there showed up on that play, unfortunately.
You know, the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, right?
It does. It does. The blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and again. Well, what happens? They move the ball out to the 37, and on top of that, we're not getting a lot of pressure on them with the down 4 linemen. Oh, they tried their own version of the screen, the flanker screen.
Got eaten up.
Get
Yeah.
that out.
Well, I think it's trading barbs now. It gets into the when you get this part of the game all the way through, like I would say, I don't know, late third quarter, kind of becomes that back and forth chess match before one team either you need to figure out what the strategy is. You're either really far ahead, really far behind, or it's still close, and you can continue the game.
Yeah, man, I'm loving the Buffs logo today on their helmets. The decal they got on there. They go run the ball again, and they got about 2 yards, so it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Third
But
and
the
eight.
Buffs logo right now, it's this white CU, and if you know the Buffs logo, which got it on our shirts here and everything else. But uh, I the
Oh, the
main
stripes on it. Yeah.
logo uh, is like an American flag. It's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Oh, yeah. I think it's the tribute to
The
the
middle.
veteran. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I think that's good looking right there. I must admit, when Dion brought his Louis Vuitton luggage, he brought some pretty cool Louis Vuitton luggage there.
Oh, he did. Well, and I think all the love that Colorado's got has really helped with
Oh, one
a
on
lot
one
of these.
ball and interception.
Sweet. Who's got it?
Travis Hunter.
Oh, there it is. There's the stats we're looking to pad today.
That is what we're looking for right there. I can tell you, that was going to be a completion too. The cornerback got completely turned around. The ball hung up in the air a little bit longer, and Rise, the Utah guy, went to grab it out of the air. The CU cornerback recovered enough to get a mid in there and knocked it. Oh, it went off his helmet. It went off number 3, the cornerback's helmet. Now, maybe he punched it out, and
Ooh,
then
that's a deep
Hunter was right there. Oh, look at that.
runner
The
showing
eyes.
on the
Oh,
spot.
baby.
Oh, and he had a hell of a return. This is great.
Yeah, that's what we need. Oh, now he's going to get unsportsmanlike conduct because after he did his Heisman pose, he threw the ball towards the stands. You can't do that. Come on. You
No.
made a great play. Just
Yeah,
hand the
just
ball to
walk
the
off
left,
with
walk
it.
off the field.
Jack wearing a Wisconsin jersey today against Oregon. Well, the Wisconsins that I remember were the hell of the hardest teams to play. We went up one year when I was Chip, and I didn't get to go to that game, but it was at Camp Randall, and I recall that we lost that game, and we had a good team back then, but the Wisconsin product as of late hasn't been as good as they have been traditionally.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Looks like we tried to run the ball there. It's just me and I.
John Clay. We do like Broncos legends. Yeah. No.
We do.
Dude, Jack, you got all the right the best stuff today. You got the stats on and insights into the Utah component. You've got Broncos connections. You got that Wisconsin connection. Like you've got it all.
Got it all. And I'm pulling for Wisco today too.
Yeah.
Beat Oregon. I can't pull for an old Pac-12 rival team that thumped us. And honestly, what was it last year when we played Oregon? And was it Dan Lanning? Yeah, he
they're playing for clicks. We're playing for wins. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That was just a
Well,
disrespect.
that was a big turning point as well. I think they've commented an awful lot on it, where Deion Sanders really came and has reiterated that point, and a bunch of the pundits have followed through on that as well. Of he did note after that game, this is the lowest you're going to get us, and the lowest you're going to see us. So you better get us now because we're gonna improve, and they did. And they had a tough skid at the end of last year where they lost 6 or 7 of their last games. Yeah. But, they reloaded, they came back, and people are going waffling back and forth on the questions now of, is Deion's approach actually working when everyone was so down on it? We've got our own feelings on that. I think we feel that he still needs some work to do on the high school level and be able to get some of those blue chips in.
I think so. It's clear that he can work the portal. But one thing, the thing to him is he doesn't do visits. He sends all of his coaches to do visits with the high school kids, and I think that's a missed opportunity. I mean, I think any high school kid would be happy to have Deion Sanders walk into their house and be like, "Here's why you need to be a CU buff moving forward."
That's right. The next 4 years, you're gonna be bringing some magic. That mixed with the talent that he can get from the portal, like year 2, it's been successful. Year 3 would be wonderful if we could hold on to Shedeur one more year. Hunter, unfortunately, will be on his way to the bigger and better things.
Yeah, he'll be making quite a bit of money in the NFL next year, playing on Sundays. But I think if he, you think about professional teams, they say you build through the draft and then you fill in with free agency. And I think that the portal is free agency, and building through the draft is getting all those blue chippers, signing out of high school. I think it's the
It's
team
the same model. Yeah.
that block.
Let's see. Ohio State now tied with Northwestern 7-7 with 6:59 left in the second quarter. Texas up 10-0 in the second quarter on Arkansas. Clemson and Pittsburgh tied. That's a good ACC matchup of interest out here. When not one of the best showings for Syracuse, went down to Pittsburgh, and I think their Kyle McCord is their quarterback, who they pulled over from Ohio State when he walked away, and he threw 5 interceptions against Pittsburgh, 3 of which were pick sixes. I can't recall a game where I've seen 3 pick sixes in the same game.
Shadeur's kind of running for his life and threw it away. It's going to be 3rd and 10. I see this is where I just can't figure out our offense coordinator. I just don't get it. All the routes they were running were 15, 20 yards down the field. They need 10 yards. You got to have somebody running underneath.
Yeah. Those short crosses. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Utah's dropping into a 2 deep zone right now. I just don't see what we're up to. I mean, 3rd downs right now, we're 0 for 2 on 3rd down efficiency. That's not good. Nope. And I mean, we've been handed great field position 2 drives in a row. Oh, and Shadur just goes down. Oh, come on. Who was that just gave that up off the end? That was a running back that needed to pick up the blitzer, and he didn't pick the blitzer up at all.
So kick it back. All right. So it's kind of stalled out on both sides right now.
Oh, that's just pathetic. Our offensive line is certainly not holding up very well. That's that's 2nd sack today we've given up. And last year, Shadur was the most sacked quarterback in all of football. I think he went down 50+ times last year.
58, something like that. Yeah.
But that's not good. They need to establish a running game and kind of, not let those guys keep pinning their ears back and coming after Shadur.
Yeah, you got to slow them down, and that's how you get it.
but it went right out of bounds. Number 3, Singer again, man. That guy's having a rough game. He got stung with his shoulder on the first catch, on the tackle. Then he's muffed the punt and a few times gotten popped pretty hard.
Where does that leave him? Back in the 20-something yard line?
I think so. I think it was somewhere right around the 30, maybe. It wasn't 30. A great. Looked like a little bit off the side of the foot because it was angling towards the sideline. But maybe that was on purpose.
Yeah. First and 10 on the 23.
Yeah. Do we follow CU hoops too? We'll have to figure that out. All I can say is CU hoops, both men
and women. Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting year because both teams lost most of their starters last year. In fact, the CU men's team, I think, got 2 guys that were drafted actually.
In the first couple rounds, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to. We talked about that we're all things buff, so we'll have to figure out, can we get a few CU games maybe where, I will say, I'll admit, I'm not the biggest basketball fan ever, although I did go to a lot of CU, basketball games, living the dorms that we lived in early on in our college career were literally across
right next door. Yeah.
The event center. And back in the day, it was the Coors Event Center. That was, you got a, event center named after a beer company. There's nothing wrong with that.
You got to go with that. Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy following the basketball games. I try to pick up as many as I can out here. We don't have a lot here on the East Coast that they offer for Colorado outside of, I think you can subscribe to All Things Buffs now, and that might be a good thing for us to be able to do.
Yeah, we did lose the whole starting 5.
Yeah. I recall the glory days when we had Chauncey Billups and everyone else there, and we actually made it to the NCAA tournament for the first time. And I know for those viewers out there, I've said this to Greg many times. One of my favorite memories is Chip, like our opening game in where were we? We were in North Carolina for that tournament, and our opening game was against Bob
Knight.
Bob Knight. My brain's going blank here, and as I'm trying to recall this memory, Bob Knight's Indiana Hoosiers, and we ended up beating them. We weren't supposed to beat them, and word on the street was that Bob Knight did not get on the bus to go back to the hotel. He actually opted to walk back, and our prize for winning that game was actually a date with Dean Smith's number 1 seeded North Carolina Tar Heels, and we did not win that game, and that was against. I remember they had this huge, 6'8", 6'10" dude, 7'1" maybe, who was their center, and he just dominated us. Even with the playmakers of Chauncey Billups and others we had on that team, we couldn't match up inside, and that ultimately ruins you.
Yeah, it does. All right, we got football back. It's first and 10. They tried one of those. Utah's actually on the 40-yard line, so it was a worse punt than I thought. And they threw a flanker screen. One of those. Is that one of the only plays that both these teams have right now? Is the flanker screen? I've seen about 10 so far, and not a single one has gotten hardly any positive yards. Let's see. Utah on 2nd and 10 goes back to the ground, gets about 1.5 yards.
3rd and 8. Yeah.
They can't run against the CU line, and unfortunately, right now, CU can't seem to run against the Utah line either. So it's turning into a showdown of the quarterbacks. But I will say, so far, Shadur's stats, even though we don't have the ball right now, I think he's about 50% completion right
50%, now. 4 for 8 for 61 yards. He's matching Zach Wilson, which is 5 of 10 for 26 yards. So they are both lowering their game.
Yeah, all I can say is I'm glad the defense showed up so far, because if it would have been, Wilson ducked out of it. Oh, we almost had a sack, but then he threw an incomplete pass. So, all right, now he's below 50% for the day.
Sticking with it. That's good.
2 buffs almost met him. I think the 2 ends almost made a Wilson sandwich right there. They shoved both offensive linemen back into him, and I think that was the only reason they couldn't get him down, is because they had to try to reach through, 2 300-pound beefcakes to try to get there.
Yeah, wow. That's a lot of sandwich you got to get through.
That is. That's just.
I agree with you. 2.6 yards per attempt, diabolical. That's one way to describe it, Jack.
Yeah, it is. All right. Punts in the air right now, and we are fair catch down at our 13-yard line. So
All right.
fair out at our 13. That's a good place for a fair catch, and especially when one of the Utah guys was literally standing about a yard away from his bread basket right there.
Yeah, if you want to be safe on that one. So it's a little over 12 minutes left in the. Is that about right? About 12 minutes left in the second quarter. This
Yeah,
is where we really need to push it forward. We need to get creative with some play calls and push it downfield.
I agree. All right. Now, OSU has now gone up against Northwestern, the Ohio State, 14-7, and they're second and goal right now on Northwestern's 1 yard line. So the wheel came off the car on that Northwestern team. They were 7-0 at one point, and about 12 minutes later, OSU is about to go up 21-7.
Whew. Well, there you go.
Yeah, we definitely need CU here to pick it up. We need another touchdown or two. Utah's playing some tough D right now. There's nothing I can say about that. I mean, they're actually playing some tough D, and maybe Utah's still smarting after the loss
BYU, yeah.
the win from BYU. And that, I guess, smarting is the wrong word, but maybe they're still on a high from somehow the refs handing them that game, because that was BYU had that thing.
Oh no, BYU won it.
I'm on BYU's page right now. Never mind.
Yeah,
See the train wreck part of the whole.
you're backwards. Yeah, yeah. Utah's on the bad end of that one. They got
Yeah,
jobbed on a call.
the refs definitely handed that one to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yep, I'm on the BYU page right now. I didn't even realize, my Google. I left it on Chase Roberts. Last thing we were talking about there. That is it. Yeah, CU definitely needs to move the ball on this drive. They actually need to sustain a drive, take it down the field, put some points on the board. That's one.
Yep, totally agree. Like that, and I think you could start with, I don't know, get yourself a short gain on first down, be it a run or a pass, and then get some running in there, and let's open some holes. I think we only had that one good yard by Augustave for 13 yards, and really since then we've handed it off only a couple times, and it's been for a yard or two at best.
Yeah, and I really think they need to figure that out. And if nothing else, give Sanders a read option. When we played UCF, he was a big part of our run game. He made some big runs to keep drives going.
Yeah,
The ability to get down the field. You
they've
know,
got a couple. They got a couple running backs that they can plug in there, and they just everything is focused around the receivers.
I know. There we go. First down, pass out of the backfield. A little flare by the back out of the backfield. Only netted us 2 yards. Actually, it was a receiver that came out of the backfield. And I mean, when they snapped the ball, Utah was sitting there looking at the defense was looking at their sideline the whole time. I think we
Missed
missed.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, all the defenders' heads they were showing on TV are sitting there looking at their coach when we're snapping the ball. That's a total missed opportunity. But hey, we did get 2 yards on first down. Oh, that was come on. Tried to go to Sanders. Sanders tried to go to Hunter, I think, on that play. Nope, Shepard. But tight coverage by Utah. They are standing on our receivers right now because we're not getting any separation. They and we can't run the ball, and they know we're going to throw it, so they're not giving us any kind of cushion right now.
No, and they shouldn't. No.
They shouldn't, and we got to figure this out. We need to actually stop throwing outside. We're more successful when we run across the middle because we can create some separation.
Yep. No, agreed.
Yeah,
But and then you get us in these third and long situations, and now the run is off the table, and everything is about looking for another throw. And then you burned 45 seconds off the clock, and you got to punt it again.
pass interference on Utah. That's going to save us right there because Sanders was running for his life on a 3 down lineman there. I mean, we have 5 blockers. They got 3 linemen, and Sanders still running for his life and throws about 40 down the field. And I don't know how Hunter even got a hand on it, but thankfully the Utah guy never got his head around and ran right through Hunter.
No, that's a good. Well, sometimes you need a break like that to get things back on track. Maybe they'll get back to the ground here in a minute.
Maybe because they need to. I mean, we had everybody in. Man, watching this, calls for the ball. It's short. He tries to come back for it. Number 5 never. Oh, number 5 was even holding
Vaughn,
his
yeah,
jersey.
but yeah, Vaughn had hold of him.
Yeah, he was making sure he wasn't going to catch that ball no matter what.
Yep.
And all right, here we go. We're running the ball about 3-4 yards. Ooh, got thrown forward there for about 4 yards.
All right, that's good. So now it gets us up to what, like 35-yard line. Now we just need to let's mix it up.
Yeah, let's mix it up a little bit here, and let's get another first down. I'd like to actually see them get a first down by running the ball or passing the ball rather than through penalty right now.
Oh yeah.
Our offense looks a little stagnant today, that's for sure. We look like we're looking for the home run ball every play.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Running play again. We got back to the line of scrimmage, and literally that is it. So it's going to be 3rd and 7. Utah stretched that play out. It was a off tackle play, and they stretched it out. And we're able to put a hat on a hat there.
They did their job. I mean, Utah defense is standing up. I mean, they certainly holding up against the run when the runs are there, and on the pass plays, aside from a couple good pass plays by Colorado, they've been in check.
Yeah, they really have. Their defense came to play today, that's for sure. Here they come on a blitz. Sanders running for his life again. Slings it down the field. Tried to put it where only our receiver would get it, and he couldn't hang on. So gonna have to punt again.
On again, 4th down,
I mean,
4th and 7.
And look, Sanders is throwing the ball. We need 7 yards, and he's throwing it 20 yards down the field. We got to have some underneath routes that are open at some point to where we can throw 5-6 yarder and let our individual skill take over enough where they can get that extra couple yards after a catch. Make that.
Oh, you would think so. Well, I mean that harkens back to the K-State 4th down decision, right? We needed 4th and 5 or 4th and 4, something like that, and we ended up throwing a similar pass to that, which was double covered and deep down the sideline. Just get to 5 yards and move on.
Yeah, well, that punt was only about 40-something yards, and Utah's going to set up shop at about their 24-yard line. But we are looking way stagnant on offense, and Pat Shurmur, who I certainly do not love, never loved him with the Broncos, haven't really loved him in the NFL. The guy is still running an offense that's about 15 years behind the rest of the best coaches in the NCAA and the NFL.
Yeah, you need an awful lot of different misdirections. You need all kinds of crossings that's going to take people out, and we don't have that like the other programs. You look at like an Oregon program. I know Jack was noting Oregon. Oregon has movement everywhere, and you got receivers coming into the backfield. You got people in the backfield going out to the receivers. You got your wide receivers streaking down and your tight ends pulling back and then cutting across the middle. And that's the piece that we don't really hear about at Colorado is the tight end. That tight end could really do some of that quick block drag across the middle and be an outlet for some of those short ones.
Totally, especially when Utah's definitely shading all their coverage to our receivers. It looks like they are more man-to-man right now rather than 2 deep zone. That leaves the middle of the field open when, if your guy can get past the linebacker and he's got more speed than the linebacker, it's going to put a lot of pressure on that safety because I haven't paid attention to see if they're running 1 high or 2 high safety, but that puts a lot of pressure and it opens it up. But our offensive coordinator obviously is not seeing that, and/or Shadur is always looking for that home run ball down the field rather than sometimes taking what the D gives him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking up, let's see some tight end stats here. We've got Smalls and Sam Hart. And between the two of them this year, they have 7 receptions. So clearly underutilized weapon that we have. And we don't have a run game that necessitates us needing that extra blocker in there. And we have spread offense all the time that would allow that tight end, again, to really just have a chip block, drag across either a quick out or across the middle. That's another option. I
Totally.
remember Jake Butt always blew things up in Michigan. That guy, he would do that. He was a master of doing that quick block, and then he would be open. And there you go. There's 7 yards. There's 15 yards. There's whatever.
I know. All I know is that I need Pat Shermer's phone number right now while he's on the side, and I'm going to be dialing in saying, man, come on. I can see this from this far away. I'm 30 miles away from you, and I'm watching the TV, and I can see what you're not seeing right now.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Come on.
Yeah.
Give
No,
it up.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, let's see. Right. Buffs are playing D right now. It's 1st and 10. And hey, that 50% not going to hit it in the numbers showed up again. And that was a pretty poor pass by Isaac there. That wasn't even close. That was probably 5 yards away from his receiver. We had good coverage on it, but still. But we're not getting any pressure with the front four right now. I think we need to bring a linebacker here and there and or stunt a little bit more to get some pressure on him. We're just doing straight
Yes.
rough. Loop your defense.
Mix some things up, kind of like the offense, right? Mix it up.
Yeah, do something different. Quit rinsing and repeating here. Let's
And we almost jumped off sides to begin with, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, let's see here. Obviously, he's got a good hard count because that's this is 2nd and 10. Oh, he's going way down the field, blown coverage, and he overthrew a wide open number 82. Looks like a tight end running down the middle, completely blown coverage. He was 20 yards behind the nearest buff. Would have been for sure.
Who we got as 82 on Utah?
Not sure. I'm guessing a tight end. I'm guessing he's got to be a tight end. But that was, after the play, Hunter was looking around at the safeties going, who had that guy? That was your responsibility to take that guy.
Let me see if I can find number 82.
I think really Hunter was telling him, I can't do it all out here. Some of you guys got to do something.
No, there's no way that guy should not have run in for
almost had him for a sack, and we hammered him. He still made 4 yards. It's going to be 4th down and about 5 at their 30-yard line, but that's the second time in 2 series where we had him in the backfield, just couldn't bring him down.
Well, to come back from the play that was just there and the wide open dude who would have he probably could have crawled into the end zone had it been on target.
Yeah, and had the NCAA said you can't put your knees down.
Exactly, he'd have to do a bear crawl, but he would have still had plenty of grass to cover.
Oh yeah, well, there's another end over end punt, and we're gonna get the ball starting at about our 33-yard line. Let's see if we can actually move the ball. There's 9 minutes left in the second quarter right now, and I bet the last 3 drives combined, if you include the penalty in there, we have maybe 15 yards.
Yeah, it's been a wasteful 3 possessions.
Yeah. It is just, we got to figure something out. We got to actually move the ball, and I agree. I think we got to open up. Texas Tech did that early last week against the CUD. It was crossing route after crossing route and natural pick play after natural pick play. And guess what? Receivers were running wide open.
Oh, it worked.
Couple, series they had. They were running wide open on us every single time. But we keep spreading the field.
Well, the problem that you get is when you keep missing all these opportunities.
Who is that? 17. Who's 17 on? No. Let's see here. Who was that? 17 got it. There better not be a holding. There's a flag in this play. We just got a positive about 20-yard run play. What are they calling on us? They're calling a holding play on. Come on. Let me see that again. Every time we do a positive play, we get called for holding right now. Let's see what's going on here. Who was that? Let's see here. Oh, that's kind of he does have his arm barred a little bit.
Yeah, he's got him in there.
He's got him, but that is still kind of weak. That was just come on. Again, we're going
Who
back.
Got called on it.
Forwards. That right there, that penalty negated a 15 to 20-yard run play.
And that was that would have been the longest run of the day.
Oh, yeah.
66.
Oh, there's another takedown. Yep. Another takedown right there in the backfield. Our running back just took down the blitzer that was coming in, grabbed him up high, and ripped him to the ground. Come on, you got to be smarter than that.
Yeah, nice to have back penalties.
Because we threw an incomplete pass, but it's 2nd and 20 still. It was just Sanders is 5'11" right now, and his dad is yelling at the running back that just totally blew that. Just ridiculous. That guy, I bet that guy's sitting on the sideline right now, number 23. You think that's August?
That was a nice tackle. I mean, it was pretty easy for the referee.
Sanders is yelling at him a little bit. I think that's August Dave.
Yeah.
I think he's their top running back, but you just can't make that play. Number one, you can't get beat that bad when they're trying to roll Shadur Sanders out to that side of the field and give him I mean, if Sanders could have gotten out there without that holding, he had 5 or 10 yards he could have run instead of trying to throw it down the field.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, although that giant meathead was coming in on him. So.
Well, Utah ended up taking the penalty. Initially, they declined it, and they ended up taking it. So it's now 1st and 29 right now. And yes, the running back that committed that penalty, he's on the sideline right now.
Yep. Well, as he would be. Again, he had a nice tackle.
Oh, there we go. We ran it for 5 yards. Decided to take a quick trap play right up the middle. Looked like we were actually had a little bit more open than that, but defense closed in fast, so we're 2nd down and 23. That sounds like about 3 series ago or 4 series ago.
We were 3rd down 24, and we popped it in 2 plays. So
so let's see if somehow one of our let's see here. The last 4 drives, 12 plays for -6 yards for CU.
You were right on it. Yeah, exactly. Again, without that penalty, that other one would have probably lost some more yards because
threw it across the middle to the tight end
for a
gain of about 12 yards. I think. I think
30. That's the 8th reception of the tight ends this year, according to my stats.
Hey, look at that! Now we're down to 3rd and 10. I think 3rd and 11. See, wow! Look, he looked across the middle. Guess what? Wide open.
Tight end. Yeah. Again, chip block, drag across the middle.
That is just it.
I think if they could mix that in more frequently, and that could be Sanders' outlet, then that would give us positive plays when it's looking like a negative play or no game.
Sanders fumbled the snap.
Nice.
Sanders fumbled the snap. Utah's got the ball.
Oh, he fumbled like fumble.
Oh, yeah. The snap came back to him, and he didn't corral it. It was a good snap, too. He was backing away before he ever got the ball. Yeah, that's all on the quarterback right there.
There you go. It gets us back to the extending the lead from 14-3. Now you give Utah a short field. If they can get a touchdown there, you only have a four-point lead at best. If you can hold them to a field goal, you still have an 8-point lead. But at this point, with the way they were clicking the first couple of drives, they should have easily been up 28-3 right now.
Should have. And now they're just keeping Utah in this thing, which is ridiculous. The defense is playing great, but defense probably on the sideline going, hey, offense, you guys, can you do something here? Oh, that was almost a sack. And Isaac Wilson there, he just barely got rid of that ball. He as he was going to the ground, he got rid of that ball. I'd be curious to see if his knee was actually down, even though his arm was in motion, if his knee was down before the ball came out, because our interior linemen, they're running at him every single play right now.
Well, I think you had it right. That Warren Sapp and crew on the defensive side of things, they've got it dialed in at least the last 6 games. And they may get gutted occasionally. I know some of the running on the K-State game was the last one that they really got gutted. But they've got a lot more pressure on the quarterback for sure, and that allows us to really focus on the strengths of the team, which are those corners.
Yeah, I agree. Come on, get him. Oh, don't let him run. Oh, got him. Well, he made some positive yards. He ran for about 3 yards, but again, we flushed him out of the pocket again. And
so that's what, third and 7.
He's able to get upfield out of the pocket because they're splitting both of our both of our guys off center. They're splitting them. The Utah, guards are doing a good job of pushing our guys out and
Yeah.
opening up the middle so he can step up. We got to have somebody holding the middle there because it allows those ends to take out. But 3rd and 7 right now. They're heading towards the 6-minute mark here left in the game. 3rd
This
and
would be
7.
huge. Yeah,
Come
stop.
on, get him. Let's get after him. Did it again. Yeah, got him. All right. They're going to go for it, I bet, on this play, though. It's 4th down and 3, and I would almost bet they're going to go for it on this play. I doubt they are sending in the kicker. They are sending.
All right, so again, that's another win. 2 turnovers, and you can walk away with 2 field goals when you gave him a short field. That's a good sign.
That's a heck of a sign. Yep, 2 turnovers by the same guy, Shadur. He didn't bring it so far today. He's thrown an interception and fumbled the snap. He's not having a great game today. That's for darn sure.
Yep. Yeah, I like the stat they just put up there for sacks. 28 all of last year and 29 already this year, which ties them for 6th in the nation.
Yeah.
So speaks to the defensive improvements.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. Colorado's up 14-6 now with 5 minutes 35 seconds left. We're on a little bit of an intermission at the moment here. Let's see what
check on some other games.
Yeah, let's check some scores out there. What do we got? The Ohio State is up 21-7 still.
Texas up 10-0 still on Arkansas with just under 2 minutes left in the first half.
Clemson up 14-7 over Pitt, and I think Pitt. I mean, they were ranked up until 3 weeks ago. I think when their quarterback got hurt, and I'm not sure if he's playing today.
No, they were looking pretty good. They got beat a couple weeks ago. This Clemson game is a big test for them.
Yeah, looks like that's about it. There's not many early games on. I mean,
a lot of early games.
So,
yeah.
Is this really a primetime game? I'm not so sure it is.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. We got Sydney weighing in. Boo, Ohio State. Yes, we feel that same sentiment.
Hey, I will tell you, though, it's a beautiful day here in Colorado. Although I'm inside, there's not a cloud in the sky that I can even see. And beyond that, I mean, blue sky is supposed to be about 55 degrees here. This is a wonderful.
That's a good day. What have we got?
Colorado.
I think we've got blue skies out today, but it's only in the 40s.
Yeah, that's it. I would say, though, I'm pretty disappointed with Hughes' offense so far today. I mean, they've scored 14 points, but one of those touchdowns was a punt return. So, really, the offense has got,
they're stagnant.
Points.
Oh, well, I mean, currently they are sitting at, it's not an offensive shootout, 76 total yards for the Buffs offense, 47 total yards for Utah. So it clearly is a defensive game.
Wow. And CU first play on this one, swing the ball out of the backfield, goes for no gain.
We need to move away from that.
We need to move away. I mean, Shadur, I will say today, he looks like he's got happy feet. He's sitting in the pocket. He's not hanging around very long. And, there's Utah's part of that reason. They've got a good push on the interior defensive line. But still, I mean, he's got to stand in there and make a few throws. And he looks like there we go again. The running back went the wrong direction to try to get the defenseman, and they ran free. Oh, there we go. Pass play. We just made our first down in quite a while.
That is huge because going down the team stats here, prior to that play, 76 total yards, 2 turnovers, and 3 first downs. And we are less than 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Shadur was running for his life again. The running back was supposed to pick up the blitzer, and the running back went the wrong way. Utah had a free run at Shadur. Shadur probably ran about 40 yards on that play trying to stay away from them. Oh, hey, went back to that flanker screen. I think Utah called that one.
Well, every other play, if you can have it and give it another go, it's the same setup. It seems like it's pretty obvious where it's going.
I think so. Let's hear rush yards. CU has 1 rush yard today. We're tearing it up so far. And
Yes.
Shadur's been sacked twice. So technically we probably have no rush yards. Oh, the flanker screen the other direction again. Wow, this looks like the same series of calls that we had about 4 series ago, where it's flanker screen, and now they'll try and throw about a 20-yard play when they only need about 6 yards.
If I was Sanders, I'd be getting on my offensive coordinator, being like, "All right, so the flanker screens have been like half of our calls for the last 8 plays, and we've maybe gained 3 yards total.
But
How about let's do something different?"
let's do something different. Let's see here. Oh, again, running for his life again. Flag down. We did throw for a first down to Hunter, but there's flag down. I'm not sure where it is. I'm
Probably
sure
a hold.
us, and I'm sure holding.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Well, we can't get out of our own way on third down. We're 0 for 5.
So we had a free play on that. That's the reason the guy was in the backfield by the time Shadur had the ball. I didn't see that. Yeah. He was a little offside, so that's it. Oh no, it was the nose tackle. But Seaton completely, he's our prized.
Just let him through.
He's our prized freshman tackle, and he completely whiffed on the block there. I can't blame him. He's done well this year so far, being a true freshman starting. That kid's worth every star they gave him. But let's see here. 2 minutes, 44 seconds left. I think we're at about midfield at the moment. It's going to be second down and about 8. But we need to go down and put a touchdown on the board before half and get up to 21-6 going in the second half. And then I'll say Sanders, somebody else better do a reset at halftime on the offense and what we're doing.
Oh, well, I think by mixing it up, all kinds of people just wide open. By mixing it up, you're actually you're going to help your offensive line. And the offensive line is just a sieve right now because they know the 3 plays they're going to throw every time.
Every time. And we cannot slow them down. We got to figure that out. We got to figure out how to chip on some of their defensive rushers right now and knock this off, because this is just.
Oh, and this third down's huge. We need this.
Oh, we do. Third down, 2 minutes left. It's 2-minute warning right now in second quarter, and we need this. We need this play.
This is come on now.
Oh, look at that. Jack's saying it cost him I'm sure they're meant to be a decimal point in there. $2.50, rather than
or 0.25.
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure it cost you a little bit last week. Yeah, that's too bad. Utah playing Chicago Bears football, but Utah defense is elite. Over under 44. That might be about accurate. I mean, Chicago Bears right now are a complete mess.
Well, they had it going on for a while. Now it's now people are figuring them out a little bit, but
yeah, well, they fired their OC this week, I believe. They got rid of him and said, "Yeah, you're done making play calls for us." But I think their coach is inept as well. So maybe by the end of the season, if they can't figure this out, heads will roll at that point.
I think so. Yeah, they were contemplating whether or not they should start someone else other than Caleb Williams. And you thought, where have we got? Like, dude's in his 8th game as a rookie. Like, give him some time. There's a reason why you got Caleb Williams, because you were the worst team. So bringing one player in immediately isn't gonna fix everything. Give him a couple of years.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I mean, here in Denver, we've watched our own growing pains with Bo Nix. He's doing pretty well as a rookie, but still, he's a rookie, and that's that. Beer.
Jack, if I knew where your road trip was, we could deliver something to you.
Yeah, we can have a beer delivered to you.
Yep. All right, so not a good first half if this is where it ends, at barely over 100 yards. We did hold Utah to 47 yards, but we've still got 2 minutes to play. Hopefully they can move it down.
Yeah.
Add another 50.
And Utah's had some missed opportunities in there. I mean, they had tight end running free in our secondary that would have scored if the ball would have been delivered. So this game could be even worse than it is right now. I mean, we could actually be tied or losing at this point.
Yep.
We just offensively, we have pretty much, I'll just say it, we've sucked.
5 first downs, 1 for 6 on third down efficiency.
Yeah.
Like 1 yard, as you noted earlier, 1 yard rushing.
All right, this is a 3rd and 4. We better figure this out. He's open. Get it to him. Oh, did he get the ball across the line of scrimmage to gain? Where are they marking? Oh, they're
Let's say a
marking
yes.
right on it.
All right, so that should be.
That's where as a receiver, you got to know you're right there. Reach that ball across there. Get that extra half yard you need. Don't just run like that. Get that ball out there.
Yep.
Look at that. They go quickly to it. Oh, there was a nice little shovel play forward for to Webster for about. Hey, look at that! They changed the play call up. Little
There you
shovel.
go. Imagine that. You actually stray outside of the 4 plays that you normally do.
I know, and that was actually an RPO. They actually had Shadur carry the ball out immediately. Oh, there's a hold on us right away. Shadur goes down, but there was a hold right off the bat. And Shadur, he's visibly frustrated. You can see it on his face. He's tired of running for his life right now. And come on, the only way we can block these guys is by holding them right now. This is ridiculous. Somebody better.
We need to get something. And just updating Jack and Sydney, it's actually 14-6 after the last turnover that the Buffs gave away. The Utes did get a field goal, so 14-6 Buffs currently. The Buffs are driving though.
Yeah, we were in field goal range right there. That just took us out of field goal range. There's a minute 37. It's 2nd and 15 right now.
Yep.
And I will say our freshman's having a rough game there. Our tackle freshman Seaton. That's a 2nd or 3rd holding call on him so far. We're at the 41-yard line right now, and we are not in Mata's range. Mata, he might be able to kick it about 45 yards, maybe.
Yeah, he does not have a strong leg.
He does not. He's accurate, but he doesn't have a strong leg. All right. See, you got the ball out of bounds. I think we made about 7 or 8 on that play, so it's 3rd and manageable right now, 3rd and 8.
Right.
But we're still not in his field goal range right now.
No. We need, again, one of these mid-range crossing routes to the tight end or a fast wide receiver, break it for 10, 12, and reset.
Yeah, they just showed a stat on TV right there. Shadur on this, hold on, threw it up. It's a one-on-one ball. Come on, you jumped early on that. Our receiver jumped way too early on that. He just threw up a ball for a one-on-one play. Come on, again, we needed 8 yards, and
we went for the big one. Yeah,
are both going 30 yards down the field. That was a hold right there.
Well,
I got away with a hold when our receiver went up to get the ball. The cornerback pulled his hand down, and you couldn't see it probably from the angle they had. Let's hear. We're going for it though because Mata, he can't kick it this far.
Can't kick it that far. Yeah,
field goal. Can't kick it that far.
Oh, that was Horn, right? 10.
Nope.
On the last play.
Oh, Travis Hunter just made an all-world catch at the 5-yard line.
There you go. Jack, you called it, buddy.
Nope.
Jack called it. Jack calls give Travis a jump ball.
I know he did, and we're going to get probably a holding call against us again. Going to wipe out their big play.
Oh, man.
No, defensive holding. The play stands.
Get out of town. Like, we get one call.
One call. Yep. That's what they did. Jack, they had
Jack, you're dialed in today, Jack. Like I said, you tell us where you are. You got a beer coming your way.
Yeah, oh man, what a catch though.
That was a ridiculous play by Hunter.
Oh, that was ridiculous. He was getting hit and man, 3 guys around him, and somehow he came down with the ball anyway, and he got hit as he was catching it. He elevated probably 24, 36 inches to get that thing.
That was a heck of a ball.
And there we go again. Yep. Shepard just got his 2nd touchdown of the game right there on a little nice fade route.
That was huge. That was the drive that we've been talking about for a long time that they needed to pull together. And, where did we start here? We started with 78 yards total offense, and now one drive later we're going to be at 180 yards, so
Yeah, well, and the craziest stat of the whole thing is Shadur Sanders went 12 of 13 on that drive for all the yardage. There was not a single running play in there.
yeah, that becomes its own problem. That improves first downs. We got 8. We're 2 for 8 on third down, 166 total yards.
Yeah.
165 of those are passing. So when we look back, 18 of 25 for Sanders. Our boy Isaac Wilson still kicking it at 5 of 14 with a 1.9 yard per pass, rocking it out.
Oh, that went down. I think Jack pointed out 2.6 earlier, so he's just going the wrong direction.
He's coming the wrong way. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I would say he's running for his life almost on every play, same as Shadur is running for his life too. They're both running for lives. Pretty consistent right now.
I agree. Oh, shifting a little dog here.
Yeah, gonna do a little. Gonna turn this a little bit sideways. Orientation is locked. Rotate the device back. Okay, well, we'll just do that. No, it's gonna make me just do that. Whatever, I can make it all work. Got to plug in here. Boy, this YouTube Live is just sucking my battery down.
Yeah, you got using Gina's ring light here that has one of these little things that can hold your phone on it. Works out pretty well.
Yeah, well, I think while we're at halftime and take a quick break, I'm going to go get a charging pad where I can just throw the phone on the charging pad and it'll be nice and simple then.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. All right.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the attention. Enjoy your trip. Thanks. Enjoy the game, and go Wisconsin.
Yeah, go Wisco, baby. I hope they can take Oregon out. That'd be good. All right, 44 seconds left. I think we're down to 2 people out there in radio land or broadcast land listening to us right now. We appreciate your love and support right now.
Yeah.
We're not sure who you are, and well, Sid's got to be one of them there. Oh, almost picked it off. That would have been interesting with 40 seconds left to pick it off on their side of the 50. That might have been able to get a play or two and possibly somehow kick a quick field goal.
Or go deep for a touchdown, yeah.
Yeah, man. They keep showing that play over and over of Hunter making that catch. I mean, that's an NFL quality grab he made right there. I mean, like NFL quality grab. Let's see here. Utah they're going to keep throwing it right now, even though they've been playing with fire every time. There's a wide open guy down the middle. Hunter was on that guy. He was on the tight end for some reason, but 30 seconds left right now, and they just crossed over the 50-yard line, make it the 49-yard line. There we go. Got to him, but he got the ball off. They made a positive play for about 3 yards. Utah did. They're going to call a timeout. There's 20 seconds left. They got 2 timeouts left right now, and it's 2nd and 8. They are not in field goal range at the moment.
No, they're going to have to get at least another 15 yards to give it a go.
I know. We certainly need to sack him a little bit more. We put a lot of pressure on him in this half, and we only have 2 sacks to show for it. But we need to take him to the ground, put some more green stains on his uniform. That's for sure.
But you have to say Utah's line's holding up. They're keeping people outside around him, and when the pockets, they're keeping the bubble where he can at least step up.
Yeah, they are. They're doing a good job. Let's see here. All right, they're coming out of timeout. Utah, that was actually their 2nd timeout that they've used. So
1 timeout left, 20 seconds.
20 seconds, and they'll get the ball to begin the second half. That'll be a little bit interesting. They'll get the ball to start second half, so we got to see who's got to hold them right now. Look at that, flashing back to old Joel Klatt back in the day. Showing some Joel Klatt, every picture they're showing is him getting hit. I'm sure
Joel
he's really
Klatt Love. Yeah,
appreciative.
those were not the best teams.
No, they weren't.
That
Oh,
last
picked it
hit
off.
on
Oh, I thought we picked it off. Again, that was a good play on the cornerback. He read that and broke on that ball quickly and almost took it away.
and that play prior to the timeout, they had Isaac Wilson taking him down. Like his head hit the turf pretty hard there, coming in backwards. So
I saw that. Yeah, let's see here. It's 3rd and 8, 15 seconds left. Let's see if CU can force them to punt it. Half will be over at that point.
yep.
Oh, there's a hold in the interior line right there, but they're not calling any holding calls on Utah, and that was clearly a hold. It just gave up a first down. It was clearly a hold in the backfield on one of our D linemen. He was turning, and the guy just grabbed him. That was
Terrible miscall, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the
So where
officiating.
are they at here now?
They're down inside our 30-yard line right now.
Right.
8 seconds left. They're going to run a play and
And they
obviously use
call
their last
timeout probably.
timeout.
Yep.
Yep. They're right at the 30. So this would be a 47-yard field goal at the moment, 46, 47-yard field goal. But we're playing a little bit of a prevent defense there. Oh, and they dropped the pass. It was tipped to the line of scrimmage, though. One of the D linemen got a hand on it. So it's going to be about a 46, 47-yarder.
And I think you open with the stat of Becker and his 70, mid 70, high 70% field goal make percentage. So there's a chance.
I think so. Yeah, he's right at for the season 70%. I think it's like 70.3, and this is his season long right here, 47 yards. Let's see if he can
got the altitude.
Give a little snap hook. He hooked it right into the uprights. He started on the right upright and hooked it in. He's trying to stick it to his old teammates right now. That's for sure.
All right, it's 21-9 and we have made it.
We have made it to halftime.
Excellent.
All right. Well, I'm going to take a little break real quick and we will be back.
Yep, we will be right back. I don't know if there's a way to actually pause this, so.
I don't know if there is either, but all right. Well, we'll be right back. For anybody listening YouTube Live Land, your hosts. We'll be right back. Our commercial break. And I will mute the camera in the meantime. All righty. I'm back. Hey, we got 2 people on here now. That's good. Our high audience today was 4 so far, and I think we're just going to lose people from here on out because of a certain hockey game that's going to go on up there at St. Norbert. St. Norbert is taking on Marion today. Let's see here. I don't know. That game's got to be getting close, too. I don't know how the announcers do this. I'm hungry. Need a couple pieces of cheese here. First play of the game. Yeah, they're just showing highlights now. Utah has the best defense in the Big 12 right now. Maybe that's one of the reasons the Buffs are struggling so much. Nice. I like it. Thanks, Rochester. Avery, appreciate that. I think we lost Sydney a second ago. I think it's game time. Coopy Doo was on. In fact, here comes my youngest. I think he just woke up. Probably had a rough night of gaming until like 4 a.m. in the morning or something like that.
That's the hardest time. Sometimes you gotta power up after you've had a rough night of gaming.
Mm-hmm. He powered up. It's 11:51 right now.
Rochester, we love it.
Buffs are winning right now, man. Come on.
We can give a quick rundown of kind of where we are in the college football world today on this fabulous Saturday. It is now a beautiful, beautiful 52 degrees, blue skies here in Syracuse.
Nice. I think we're same thing. I can't see a cloud in the sky, and it's today's high is supposed to be like 56 or 57 here in Denver.
Nice. All right, let's check out the scores. Where we currently sit, Ohio State now running a bit away with the Northwestern game, 28-7, with 12 minutes left in the third. Texas in a bit of an old historic rivalry game with Arkansas. I remember as a kid, they would always play Arkansas. And that was always kind of a hated game. I think I saw something this week that said Arkansas just hates Texas. And
I'm sure they do. Right across the border, they feel like they're the bastard stepchild, I'm sure.
That's a tight game. Still 10-0 where it's been since, I think, the first quarter. Utah, Colorado. Clearly, we know where that stands. Clemson, Pittsburgh. Clemson has put another field goal on the board, giving them a 2-possession lead.
Yeah.
And coming in, Tulane, the 25th ranked team in the nation, is up on Navy, 14-0, of which Navy opened the year, I think, with the Army at 7-0 until they stumbled their last couple of games. So now they're sitting at 7-2. That Army Navy game right after Thanksgiving or early December is going to be a heck of a game. Without knowing what that rivalry is and feeling it, of not either being a Navy person or an Army person. Spending some time down there this past February at the Patriot League championships for swim and dive, you get a sense of how important Navy beating Army in anything is, and it bleeds through in the swimming pool. But I can only imagine that football game is got to be a ridiculous atmosphere.
Oh, I'm sure it is. There's that's quite the history of the rivalry there. Any of the academies, even Air Force is having a down year this year. They're about 60 miles south of here in Denver, and I've been to actually one Air Force game in my life, and it was Air Force Army and Air Force One. It was back in college.
Nice.
But it's a big rivalry, and the stands are filled with everybody from the academies. I mean, it's a pretty cool atmosphere, actually.
No, I can imagine. I'd like to make it one of those academy games. So that's a bit jealous that you had a chance to go there. Let's see what's on at the 3:30 docket. We got Penn State, Purdue, likely to not be a close game. We got Virginia taking on Notre Dame. BC takes on SMU. BC coming off a big win against Syracuse last week, and if they can knock down. You look at any of these teams that are in like the low to mid to upper teens that are ahead of the Buffs right now, and you're looking for where they can get picked off. And having SMU get picked off at currently sitting at 14 only helps the Buffs if they can get there.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. I think Boston College, they're solid every year. They always play tough. I mean, I think that's going to be it. I mean, I don't know. What's the big game today? Georgia, Tennessee. Any thoughts on that?
As much as not being a fan of kind of those dynasty teams that, you think, oh, well, this could be once in a generation, these teams. Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen Alabama dominate for all those years. Georgia, clearly has taken their step towards being on that level. And I think most people probably are tired of seeing Georgia win all of this, and they're not overly too sad about having two losses this year. But it shows you just how ridiculous the SEC is. There's no off weeks in the SEC, and to go from Georgia, Alabama to Georgia, Texas to Georgia, LSU to now you have, Georgia, Ole Miss to now you got Georgia, Tennessee. Like Georgia, that's got to be one of the hardest schedules on any calendar for this football season.
Absolutely. I mean, SEC and the Big Ten, two really tough, divisions this year. I mean, USC, I think I saw, USC jump ship to head to the Big Ten, and man, they are just getting destroyed this year.
They don't have the talent. When you look at the teams that are in the top 25, I think 8 of them are in the SEC, and they put up all the emblems. And there's no other. The Big Ten maybe had 4, and then it's spread out amongst the rest of the conferences. And you think, I mean, it just shows you how powerful. So I don't know. I like what Tennessee has done. I like that they've been revitalized since Peyton Manning and who was that quarterback after Peyton Manning that he led them to. He was super good, but they dropped off after that, and it took Josh Heupel coming in from UCF and really turning that program around, and their old coach, the old Tennessee coach, is now the AD there and has been, and really has shown he's made some good hires there. So my hope is I would like to see Tennessee win, but Georgia has 5 stars at every position and they're deep everywhere. So how do you compete with that if you don't have that talent?
You got to put pressure on their quarterback because he has a propensity to throw interceptions and make poor decisions. So I think that they do that. I'm pulling for Tennessee as well. I think I like Heupel. Heupel used to be played his college ball at OU, helped them win one championship there. So he's obviously got some chops, and I think he's doing well. And I think that'll be good.
Let's see who else we got. We got LSU, Florida, which used to be big. We got Missouri, South Carolina, 2 top 25 teams. Missouri coming in at 23, South Carolina at 21.
Yeah, that'll be
Boise
a good game.
State would be another big one to have Boise State get upset. They're actually playing San Jose State, who's 6-3, although they've got that beast of a running back, Jonte, who has already close to 1,800 yards rushing and has been in talks with the number of games remaining, including bowl games, of potentially eclipsing Barry Sanders' record of total yards and pulled together for the season. But all that with an asterisk, and you think about how many games Barry Sanders did it in versus how many games these athletes play nowadays. Not even close.
But it's still impressive. There's no question. It's still very impressive what he's doing right now. So I think we're getting close to the second half kickoff here. And getting back to our Buffs real quick, the one thing I can say, offense got to figure some things out, because that's out of that last drive and the first drive where they threw up kind of a prayer on an offsides, and our receiver came down with it. They did nothing in between. There was a whole lot of nothing going on. And the D is playing awesome. And I think I looked up in the meantime, Utah's D leads the Big 12. So we're going against a tough D right now.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to what Our subscriber Jack was talking about that the over under for this game, or I'm sorry, the points that they plan to have both teams score in this game was 44 and a half, something like that, which shows
Yeah.
a tribute to just how tough that defense is.
Yeah,
But you do a quick rundown on team stats before we kick off there on the Utah side. 4
Let's do
first
that.
downs, 83 total yards, 62 passing, 21 rushing, 1 turnover, which was, of course, an interception. That, like you said, that CU defense has been on young Wilson all day, and to only have taken 2 sacks, that speaks highly of him. I suspect as the offensive line gets ground down, and if the defense can really get humming, they could probably build up some substantial stats on sacks this afternoon.
That'd be nice because they certainly had their hand on him a number of times, and they've moved out of position a few times to give him some escapes, but they're hitting him a lot too. I think at the end of the day, he's probably going to walk out of here hurting anyway because he's not, when he breaks that pocket, he's not taking that free slide and, just nobody can hit him. He's staying up long enough for a backer to hit him or a defensive lineman to come chase him down and hit him. So,
Yep.
you can't take too many of those 280-pound guys hitting about a 170-pound guy. That doesn't work. That's not a recipe for success.
No. Yep, and Wilson's underneath what his 55.7% completion average is. He's currently 8 for 20, which doing the quick math there would put him at about 40%, which isn't going to win a lot of football games, especially when those 40% are only giving you 62 yards in the first half. But I would suspect that they're going to make the same adjustments. They've seen some areas they can exploit, those over the middles, those soft areas where the linebackers should be. And I would expect that they're going to come out. They're going to look to those areas to gain some easy yards.
Yeah, and I honestly hope that CU makes the exact same adjustments. The middle field's been open. They just aren't putting it in the middle field. The few times they've looked there, they've made 8-10 yards a play. And CU has got to take some pressure off of Shadur, and he's got to, by opening the run game up, they've got to start amassing some yards so that D line isn't just pinning their ears back and coming after him. Because I bet Shadur Sanders has run for more yards than our running back so far, just running for his life in the backfield.
Well, on paper, he's on our whole team is run for 1 yard. So yeah. Just on that one play, I think you're right. He ran for about 40 yards from one side to the next side.
Yeah, he's tired. I bet he had an IV in him on the in the halftime there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he certainly. All right, Ralphie just ran the field again.
We love Ralphie running.
Yep.
What's the
Utah gets the ball to start the third quarter, so that was a big score at the end of the half. You made 3 points right at the end of the half when CU's D gave up about a 20-yarder. When they had him at 3rd and 8, gave up a 20-yarder. Although I thought there was a missed holding call in the backfield, but regardless, and then they get the ball. I mean, you score points at the end of the first quarter, and you get the ball at second quarter. If they go down and score, this is a game. I mean, at that point, it's not 21-9. It could be 21-12. It could be 21-16. And CU's got to figure something out at that point.
Well, and that's how you draw it up, right? If you want to have the ball last in the half, and you want to get it the first in the second, so you can do that double punch score. So I fully expect that Utah is going to come out swinging.
I think
they got nothing to lose at this point.
At the end of the day, it's as awesome as CU's D has played so far, they're going to give up a touchdown drive. They're just going to give one up. I mean, the odds are against them that they can hold them out of the end zone the entire day. So CU on the offensive side of the ball has got to start moving it more consistently, start putting more points on the board for every drive they have going.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I mean, we can't go. I mean, what were your stats on that last drive? 11 of 12 for Sanders on that drive. So before that means he was 7 for 13. So again, like we were talking early, he and Wilson had essentially the same completion percentage of around 50% until that final drive. And you also pointed out that one of our touchdowns wasn't even an offensive touchdown. It was a special teams. And
Nope.
that's great. If we're going to do that again, let's light them up if we're going to have a sputtering offense. But we're going to get torn up at some point.
That's tough. I mean, if you just stack the offenses against each other, we're only winning 14-9 right now. Granted, 2 of the field goals Utah has put through, they both had short fields. They were already in field goal range when they got the ball from 2 Shadur Sander turnovers. You know, so all I can say is we got to protect the ball better. We need to take the ball away from them on D some more. And on the offensive side of the ball, they need to run it, and then they need to look for the middle of the field.
Totally agree. Like, hey, let's call out the tight end one more time. All right,
totally agree.
Let's.
Looking at the stats right now, our rushing yards at halftime -4 yards. That's just
not a good stat line.
No, that is.
And it started off so good. I think the first real positive play of the game was like a 13-14 yard rush, and then they went away from it, and then every other one from there was either a sack or it was just get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's just, my opinion, poor play calling. Just they need to mix it up, and on top of that, you can't keep running that flanker screen that they keep running. And Utah's their D line. I give them a lot of credit. They are putting pressure every time Shadur drops back. They're beating our O line right now. They just are beating them off the blocks and pushing our guys back. And our O line has got to pick it up a little bit in the second half.
Yep. And
so
it looks
opening kick going deep now over the head in the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10. What is it in college? Is it 25-yard line that they give them?
Man. I have to say, I for the players' safety perspective, it would be nice if college football adopted the NFL kickoff. It's certainly helped with cut down on injuries of those high speed hits that knock players out, and you still see that here, and you still see players get lit up pretty hard.
Oh yeah, and honestly, in the NFL, you're starting to see what are those caps? Those
caps more and more frequently. Yeah,
guys are wearing them, and they're just like, dude, what was
my
that?
brain's more important. Yeah, my playing career is limited.
Yeah, I just read this morning that Seattle Seahawks O-line, the starting center, he retired. He announced just we're live, dude. You're not.
Oh wow, I'm going to upset.
Oh no, he's like a special guest. We need to bring him in.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I see it. He's all butthurt right now over here.
I don't set this whole
Coop, we need you. We need you to come on.
Oh yeah. He's a little unkempt right now. You can't put him on live. Put him out to our live audience. It might scare him. You know what?
You got to put like a CU emblem right across his bare chest. He's good to go.
Oh yeah, as long as he has a big gold necklace or something. Hey, look at that. Utah starts off with 2 run plays, and in 2 run plays, 2 yards total. 3rd and 8. CU filling the hole right there with the strong safety, Simon Craig running up there and taking that running back down nicely.
Love it.
Yeah, let's see here. CU point differential in the second half is +75, and in the third quarter it's +52. Let's see if they can pour it on. And that means, honestly, that they're making the adjustments at halftime that they need to be making, and they're making changes to where D is playing solid and the offense starts to score some points.
Yeah, well, they need to.
Yeah. Well, all right. Rushing the quarterback right now and got to him. Risey released it, but he did throw a bullet and a first down for Utah. But right as he released the ball,
lit up.
Right as he released it, he got hit. And the receiver, that was tight coverage on the receiver, too. Good pass play, though. He put it only where his receiver could catch it. And there wasn't any way that our defender could knock that down. So I would like to have seen them get off the field right there, because you don't want to give Utah any momentum moving forward right now. What is that going to be, a false start? Or is that going to be a false start? All right. That's good positive.
That's what we like to see.
To you. Yeah, I think they called it on the tight end. number 85. He's got some locks of hair flowing out the back of his helmet right there.
Well, sometimes that it's like the extra ethereal speed that you need, be able to once you catch fire in the open field. He was the guy who was wide open on that play, right?
He was. He was the guy that quarterback overthrew him. Let's see here. They hand it off on 1st and 15. It's about to be 2nd and 17 now. 2-yard loss. Got, is that number 97, Nukawanda, I think is what it is. That dude's, I think he's like 5'10", like 300 pounds. That dude is built like a tree.
Fills some space, yeah.
Yeah, that dude is big, and you're just not getting away from him. He lines up right over center every time, right over center. And he usually takes 2 blockers. He did again that time. Oh, intercepted right on. They tried to go across the middle, and the linebacker stepped right in front of the ball, picked it off. CU ball right around midfield right now.
I think it's the turn that they needed. So if you think about how the first half started, it was an immediate CU turnover, and this could be helpful, and this could be a dagger if they can bring it down the field.
Oh yeah, it was. And man, that linebacker just read the eyes of the quarterback. Quarterback locked in on that guy, and the linebacker just said, "I'll take that. Thank you very much. I appreciate you throwing that to me."
Yeah.
That was a nice. I'm glad he didn't drop that, because that was one of those just gifts right there.
Yeah.
We're on their side of the field. We take over 1st and 10 at the 38. On their side.
That was a great run.
Look at that run play right up the gut for a touchdown.
So we have the interception by Hill Green.
Yes.
And we have one handoff, 1 touchdown.
August Dave takes it. A little hesitation as the hole opened up right in the middle, and he just ran straight up the gut and barely outran. But, oh, my gosh, that's amazing.
Look, crazy. That's going to not tell the story, because that's a 38-yard rush. But,
yeah.
That's there's been 2 of those. The 13-yarder to open the first half, and now we got a 38-yarder.
30, and you know who was downfield blocking for him? Travis Hunter.
That guy he knows where he needs to be.
The guy wants to be in the middle of all of it. That guy doesn't, he's not one of those receivers that just runs with the guy. He's downfield still trying to make a play for the guy. I mean, the guy has 3 INTs this year, 1 forced fumble that won a game in overtime.
Against Baylor, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, forced fumble at the goal line. And the guy has, what has he got this year so far? 9 receiving touchdowns.
Yep.
And, I mean, I can't see how he is not at a minimum in the top 2 for the Heisman. And if he finishes outside of that,
they threw the Heisman stats up there earlier, and he was the only one with the negative odds on him. So that clearly shows he's the front runner currently. And a game like today, where if they can open it up in the second half, get him a bunch of yards on offense, he did what he needed to do on defense. He got his interception.
Yeah. I mean, and he had that highlight reel catch on 4th down in the first, in the second quarter, late second quarter, that set up the touchdown to go up 21-6 at the time.
Well, going from where were we? 3-4 minutes left in the first half. CU had 76 yards total offense. They are now up to 203 yards, and that play. Essentially, it was a 16-minute to 14-minute possession split in the first half. CU now has 14 minutes and 8 seconds. So that 8-second run from the 38-yard line makes a big difference.
It makes it huge. They're up 21-9 right now. That is huge. I mean, just like you noted, we started off the game with an interception in the first
play.
Yeah. And then to turn around and about the 3rd play of the first series of the second half, we pick it off and we turned it into a touchdown. Whereas Utah, any of the miscues we've had, they've only turned it into field goals, not touchdowns. That defense still playing lights out right now.
3 field goals. Becker's their best player right now.
He is their best player. And on top of that, what is it? That just even the turnover battle, too. We had 2 turnovers. They've now had 2 turnovers. But
2-2.
The 2 turnovers that we gave up, they put 6 points on the board. The 2 turnovers that they've had, I think we put 14 points on the board.
Plus the special teams. Yeah, so now you got, the right balance is happening.
Yeah, it is. All I know is that we need to pour it on them, though. This isn't Utah. It's clear their D can play with anybody. And at some point they are going to break because they've been on the field a lot. But, our D's just got to keep going after their offense.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and like we were talking, like wearing their offensive line down, that's going to open up some more of these sacks. At this point, we've only had a sack, according to the stats here. And Utah, I think, has had 3 sacks. So evening that out is going to be big.
Yeah, man, look at this transfer portal. Throwing a stat up there. Last 2 seasons, 95 transfers. Their current starters are 3 recruits. 9 23-year transfers and 10 24-year transfers. I mean, but that to the point we were talking about earlier, you got to build from within. You got to get that pipeline.
At least a percentage of your players, right? It's got to be. Let's call it. Let's start somewhere. Let's plant a flag and say Deion Sanders. 20% of your players, grab them like through traditional recruiting. Right. And get that sound barrier, or lower the bar 15%, and then keep doing what you're doing, because clearly you're doing some things right.
Yeah, obviously you're evaluating talent pretty well for the systems that you're running, and you're bringing in guys that other programs maybe underutilized. They just don't want to be there anymore, whatever it is. But those guys are making the difference at CU. But and all the recruits they're bringing in right now are 4- and 5-star guys. You sprinkle in a few more of those every year. Guess what? Now you've built the base of that program, and you're gonna start becoming a destination. You keep winning like this, you're going to become a destination where the recruits are like, hey, I want to go. I mean, I think it was about less than a month ago, I saw 2 wide receivers, one of them a 4-star and one of them a 5-star, both decommitted from their places and committed to CU.
I mean, it speaks volumes of the turnaround as well. Like we opened to go from 1-11 to, we had a rough second half of the year last year. This year has put pieces together. We probably shouldn't have lost the K-State game. We absolutely should have got crushed, and did get crushed in the Nebraska game because we didn't bring it that day.
No, not at all.
Outside of that,
in the mouth.
Yeah, like things have turned in the right direction. You look at the next couple of games. We've got Kansas. We've got OK State. I think that closes it out, right? And then if we haven't lost, if we don't lose any of those games, in theory, that'll be the Big 12 championship against BYU.
Yeah, that
will be the game that they need to show up to, and they really need to push through that. If they can win that, there's a chance they'll be in the playoff. All this is hypothetical. That doesn't set up well for them, though, when you're the 11 or 12 team in, and you got Oregon and Ohio State and everyone else who has all the 5 stars that you're hoping to get.
No, it doesn't. I mean, so far though, I've at least I'm liking what I see. I know that they struggle in the first half, but BYU played Utah last week and barely squeaked one out with a little help from, I think, the
referee.
There.
Yeah.
And
little zebra help, but that was a rivalry game, so you got to give it to the emotional side of things, where it's Utah versus Utah, and then you lose, and so not unexpected that they would come out a bit flat this week.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would expect it, and they're playing on the road. They were playing at home, and I bet this might even be a different game, even if we were playing right after that rivalry game, but we were playing in Utah. I think this game's a little different too, because they got the crowd behind them. Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree. And it's not as though Utah is not one of those teams that needs to adjust to the altitude, because they have it. They come from altitude. They're already acclimated. So.
Yeah. No, I think it's it'll be interesting. Well, let's hear. We got a few minutes while the commercials are about to come off here. Let's hear OSU, the Ohio State. Up 31-7 now. I think that game has pretty much got a fork in it. Texas is up 13-7. Arkansas put some points on the board now, and Arkansas's got the ball at their 35-yard line. Clemson up 17-7 over Pitt early in the third, and Tulane now put another touchdown on the board. They're up 21-0 over Navy late in the third.
All right. Well, I would love to see, with the magic that was happening with Navy Army this year, I'd like to see Navy be able to come back and keep pushing that. But 21-0 for Tulane. And Tulane, I think I had read something this morning that said essentially, they have turned it around from kind of that has-been program that people just give up on and look around, and they're putting together some really good seasons the last couple of seasons here with a 8-2 record, 6-0 in their conference, and they're up 21-0 on a really good Navy team.
Well, and I think, isn't it the MAC they play out of, the Mid-American Conference, something like that? Is that what SMU plays out of too? I mean, you got some good.
The American Conference.
Oh, American Conference. All right, we're back to action, by the way. And unfortunately, Utah able to pick up the first down on 3rd and 4. So they keep the chains moving. And we'll see what the D did. It looked like a little bit of a busted coverage out there because that ball floated out to the side, and that was it. Let's see here. Yeah, that was a running back that got out there, and they're showing a stat right now on the TV that the most receiving yards per game allowed to running backs, Colorado is worst in the nation at 50 yards per game. Oh, look at that. Got a sack.
All right.
I believe either that or that was a running back. And,
well, that what you just said there, though, speaks volumes to the places where our weaknesses are. Think about, again, I hate to keep going back to the K-State game, but that was a perfect example where they had, late in that game when we had just taken the lead, dumped it off to that running back, and he went for 30, 40 yards. And it's no surprise. That's everyone's outlet.
Yeah, it is. And it tells me that our backers aren't getting out there fast enough to cover those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see here. 2nd and 16 right now at their 30-yard line, Utah's 30-yard line. Pocket was collapsing right down the middle. They get 20 yards. Shiloh Sanders had the coverage and didn't make the play. He let that 82 King, their other big tight end right there. He's a big target, though. I mean, they just showed Shiloh Sanders and him side by side, and I think King had him by a head. And I think Sanders is like 6'0", 6'1". That tells me that King guy is probably 6'6".
Yeah, well, Sanders playing way off him, like 15 yards off him.
I know, you can't. I mean, it's 2nd and 16. You can't give up that big of a cushion. So we're now at the plus side of the 50-yard line for Utah. They just ran it right into the wall. That is the CU defense again, and no gain there. Man, we got to figure out a way to stop them on 3rd down. Because
just need one. Yeah, and it's a big one. I mean, that one was what, 2nd and 16. All right. So keep them short, get it back to 3rd down and long, and then hold them instead of giving up these big plays.
Yeah, and the tough part was we only rushed 4, and again, right as quarterback was throwing it, right as our guy got there, we all game long we've been about a quarter step short of taking him down or interrupting his pass.
Yep.
So
2nd and 9.
2nd and 9. Look at that. They ran him wide. They set up a natural pick there. The guy that was the motion guy, which is their top receiver, Singer, he ran all the way across the field, and they had the 2 guys on the opposite side, the receivers, go left back across the formation to create a natural pick against our guy following across the formation. So, I mean, that's something CU needs to start doing, that pick play.
Yeah. I mean, you got the wide receivers to be able to draw the attention that where you need it.
You do. I mean, there's no reason we can't set up some of that, but for some reason, it's not a play in our it's not in our playbook for some reason. I haven't figured that one out.
It's a big 3rd and 9. This is big.
Oh, I think that was an incomplete pass. Yep. Hit the turf. They had it set up, though. I mean, that probably would have gone for a 1st down. They actually had it set up right, but
it's the accuracy of the quarterback.
Yeah, well, that was because we were getting pressure on the quarterback. We had somebody in his face again. I mean, his uniform, he just walked off the field. The backside of his uniform is everything from black to green, from him going down all game long. So, like I said, he looks a little more hobbled. I watched him when he was running off the field. He definitely doesn't have the gait he had early in the game.
No, so all right, so that gives you 4th down.
Yeah, they just
48,
punted it,
49.
fair catch, 9-yard line.
So I keep going back to it. Like, you want to put a dagger in a game. This is your drive. Like, okay, they're down 19 points. So
Yep.
they've shown that they can hold CU's offense. This would
Yep.
be a big one to go down, and let's make it 35-9. Let's not worry about the field goal.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's go down. Let's put another touchdown on the board, and let's show that the adjustments we made at halftime. Because, their last touchdown was one play, 37 yards. We had it up the gut, and we managed to run it, which is great. But now we got to sustain a drive. We've only done that one other time this game when Shadur went, 11 for 12 just before halftime, and it was an amazing catch
They
by
kept it
Hunter
alive.
that
Yeah.
even kept it alive.
Yep, I agree.
And that was because where we were on the field, we were outside of our field goal kicker's range. So we had to go for it on 4th down.
It's interesting, like, just seeing that they flash through a bunch of those Travis Hunter highlights from the game. Oh, I
Yeah.
guess we're back already.
Yeah, we are. We just ran for no yards on 1st down. We did try to run it again.
That's
Let's see
good.
what they're going to do on 2nd. They should try to run it again. Run it. They should have run that. Sanders made the wrong. That looked like another RPO. It looked like
Yeah,
where
he
he
should
had
have
the
kept it.
option
Yeah.
to hand it to the guy, and he decided to keep it. And he had 2 Utah guys running free at him. Hand that ball off. Let your running back. The running back looked like he had 4 or 5 yards of freedom. Give it to him.
What a terrible stat that over reality of the 37-yard touchdown is the longest rushing touchdown for CU in the last 6 years.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was what is going on? Again, offense that they look like they're completely out of sync again.
Yeah. 3rd down out again. Now punting.
Yep,
All
3rd
right.
down, and we tried this little dink and dunk across the middle, and we have another guy on Utah that's running free at Shadur. They are completely missing all of the line. Is just they're not making good calls at the line to figure out who they need to pick up. This honestly reminds me of last year. That's what every team did to us last year. They would
and you got a bunch of infighting now on the CU's line where you could see the frustration after that play, see the replay, all the linemen barking at the one dude.
Yeah, that was bad. They just got about a 15-yard run back, and the refs completely missed a clip right at the point of attack. CU guy was there, and the Utah guy sat there and hit him in the back.
They've been penalized very little for, in many instances, some of these very obvious penalties where we would clearly CU has racked up their own, and many of them are very obvious as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was straight into the back.
Straight into the back. How do you miss that call?
Yeah.
And it freed the guy up to run 20 yards down the field. I mean, that was a bad missed call. And we've seen a number of those on Utah plays for positive yardage this game where they miss a hold in the backfield or whatever it is. And I just haven't figured out what the refs are looking at because I may be just a Joe Schmo here, but I can see that that was a hold.
That one seemed pretty clear, yeah.
But they've managed to call those penalties on 2 or 3 plays where CU's gotten 15 yards rushing, and it's kind of a chintzy call, and then they're missing a bunch of obvious calls on the other side.
Yes. No, I agree. Well, I was getting back to what I was talking about, like the whole...
they went for the home run ball and touchdown.
One play.
Hunter
See, they capitalized on it.
Hunter just got beat badly. I don't think he even thought the ball was coming his direction, and he tried to make up the speed. It was their number 1 receiver, Singer. The guy had 0 touchdowns all year.
Now he's got one.
He just
and
beat
it's Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Had him one-on-one, and let's see it. What did Hunter do wrong? Oh, he got caught looking in the backfield. That's what was wrong. He was looking in the backfield as he was backpedaling, and the guy just went right by him, and he just
toast.
couldn't
Yeah.
close fast enough.
Well, but that was it. So let's get back to clearly the easy discussion that we keep having is you've got the opportunity to put the dagger in it to move things down. So we go from the potential of being 28, 31, 35 to 9. And
Yeah.
now you're at 28-16. Now it's back to the 12. And
Yep.
see you sitting on it like they did the majority of the first half, and punting is going to give them, I wouldn't be surprised if we turn around and it's 28-23 here in a moment.
I know. Offensively, number one, it's clear we can't block.
Nope.
Today, we cannot block their D line, and they're stunting. And every time they stunt, we are missing coverage at that point. Yep. They are going. I don't understand what it is, but this looks like the line from last year that every team did that to us. They stunted, and somebody was running free at Shadur every play, and just driving me batty. Watching it. This is the worst I've seen the offensive line play the entire season.
It is, and it's not a good time to do that. Like, these are the wins that you should have, and these are the wins that you need to have, and to make it as close as this for no reason. I mean, Utah's not outplaying them. That was a good play, and give it to your best number one receiver and throw it out there and play it against their number one as well, and that's what he should be slinging it.
Yep, and he made the play, and our number one did make the play on that. I mean, honestly, that one play right there is. I mean, they had 80-something yards the entire game in offense, and that one play,
They're
was
up to
over half of
159 now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like that one play is 50% or 33% of the yards they've gained this entire game.
Lane. All right. Well,
All right. All I know is that come on, CU, pull it together.
I know we can't keep doing this. It's going to be that same stat that you threw out in the first half, where within like 4 or 5 drives, we were at -4 yards, something like that. We've already gone down. Like, I think we opened up that 38-yard touchdown, put us at like 202, 203. This last series, we were -4 yards for that, and if we do it again,
I know. And the thing is, on the offensive line, they got an ex-NFL lineman. That's the lineman coach.
Yeah.
You would think that they could figure this out. They upgraded this line. I know they upgraded. I don't know if they have any injuries right now. Maybe that's part of the problem. They have a couple injuries and a couple backups in there rather than primaries. Let's see here. Shadur Sanders on the season, or Travis Hunter on the season, 4 targets, 3 catches today. He's given up for 72 yards. On the entire season, the receivers he's covered have been targeted 27 times for 17 catches, 125 yards. He's not having a rock star day today.
No. He 117 yards for the whole year, and he's already given up 70 plus a touchdown.
Yeah, plus a touchdown, and he hadn't given up a touchdown all season. That's the first touchdown he's given up.
Yep.
And I get it. I mean, even the best guys, they're gonna give up a touchdown. I mean, you look at, oh my gosh, see, you ran it out and only got to the 15-yard line because special teams coverage was not good. The blocking was not good. But to get back to the point, I know that he's going to give up a touchdown every once in a while. I mean, Denver has one of the best cornerbacks in Pat Surtain.
Yep.
And, he had a game or two in there where gave up a touchdown or two on something. He would normally lock down the guy, but for whatever reason. But, I still think, Travis is probably one of the best, if not the best, cover guy in the league.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you could see, even though he was beat on that play, he closed it down pretty quick. He ran out of real estate. The ball was already there.
He did. Let's see what they can do. 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line. That was just poor blocking right there. Shadur's got to get rid of it. Nope, run it, Shadur. Run. There we go. I'm glad you could hear me all the way from Denver.
Didn't even have to call him or pipe it into his helmet.
Oh, no. He's got wide open 10 yards in front of him, and he's still looking down the field. At some point, just tuck the ball and get what you can get. I mean, he just, he got 7 yards, so that's a positive play on 1st down. Now you're 2nd and 2nd and 2. So you can try to run it, or you can take a shot down the field now.
Yep.
Now you can open up a few things.
Or use that tight end. I'm pulling for a second tight end catch today.
No. Look at inside handoff right there, first down. Just made a 7-yard run play. That opened it up. Instead of being behind the chains off of first down where we have been all game, we're 2nd and 10 now, or 2nd and 9. 2nd and 2 is way different. You can make all kinds of different calls.
Oh, yeah. Well, and just mixing it up and opening some holes on the line is important, because you've said it 100 times. We're getting crushed on the different stunts. We can't seem to pick up what the different changes that their defensive line is pushing on the offensive line. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that last conundrum and that last drive with the offensive line getting after each other, maybe that's what they needed to be like. But they're rushing 4 people and they're bringing 1. We've got 5. We should be able to cover this.
Should be able to. Well, you got your hope. They just threw it to the tight end, number 82, on one of those stinking screens, and he dropped it.
No, come on.
Yep. Yeah, I dropped it. So now we're behind the chains again. 2nd and 10. We are running it, but that went nowhere. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 now.
Just like that, very quick. Yeah.
Just like that, we are 3rd and 10 again.
Even that tight end toss wouldn't have allotted to more than 2 yards because they were closing down on him. But it's the idea that you have somebody there that you can go to.
Yeah, and right through his hands there, and now the offensive line is going to be backed up. Utah's coming here, and Shadur's got to get rid of the ball fast. They got to run some routes where he can actually get rid of the ball fast, because that guy holds the ball forever. Oh, there's another one. Got 1 yard by number 10 coming across the middle, but their cover guy was right on him. We have 0 separation. Our receivers are not getting any separation right now.
Well, why we would throw for a 1 yard throw when it's 3rd and 10?
Well, looking at it right there, just looking at the replay of it, the other receivers that were running routes were completely bottled up. They weren't getting any separation. The cornerback is running right with each guy. They got to figure something out. And obviously they didn't make enough good adjustments at halftime to be able to move this ball right now, because there's nothing open in the passing game.
No, well, I mean, again, mixing it up. Maybe doing, I don't know, some of these fake handoffs. That's a piece that a wrinkle they don't throw in there, is the actual line up and fake like you hand off and then throw it, because that freezes linebackers, that freezes safeties for a moment, and that can create separation.
Yeah, and also, instead of running 5 offensive linemen every time and keeping a running back in, keep the running back in, run your 5 offensive linemen, and put a tight end. Or line a receiver up right on the end. Now you start with 6 plus a running back. Like you said earlier in the game, chip the defensive end, and then have that guy release into the middle.
Yeah.
Come on. This is not
it makes it easy. I know. But they've shown this before in these games that are unnecessarily close, where they just continue to use the same cycle of play calls. And to the frustration of everyone before, where it was the dink out to the outside. Oh, let's run the same play to the other side. No, let's run the same play to the other side. Like we didn't gain any yards the first 2 times. Why would we do it the 3rd time?
I know. It's just kind of a broken record right now. I mean, let's put it this way: if we had to take on somebody out of the SEC, even some of their bottom feeders, or out of the Big Ten, even some of their bottom feeders, I don't know, we win, because up front, we can't block.
And those guys are all massive. Like
they are.
Out west, they're less big. And when you start putting some 300+ pound guys consistently rotating in, nope.
That's just it. So they got to fix this problem in the last couple games. If they have, say we went out and get to the Big 12 championship, they got to fix that. And they got to, defensively, Right now, I'm not that worried. I mean, that was one play, like we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
We knew at some point we're going to give a touchdown up. We
Yep.
gave up one. And I
Yep.
bet they'll reset, and I bet Hunter's not going to give up much more the rest of the game. I think he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder the rest of the game and be like, this guy, number 3, I'm locking his ass down. He's not catching another ball today.
Which is what he needs to do, yep.
Yeah, I mean, then I'm guessing he's an alpha dog. He's gonna look at that as, man, on national TV, I just gave up, touchdown, 50-yarder. Should have had that. I was looking in the backfield. I was cheating a little bit on that one, and they got me.
Yep.
But, let's figure this out. Yeah, the remaining Big 12 schedule. We play Kansas next week. They're 3-6. And then we play Oklahoma State, who I think is like 3-6 or 3-7.
Neither team are having a good year, but neither of them will help us with wins either. I mean, you're expected to win, right?
Yeah, we're expected to win those games. So 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line right now for Utah. Oh, they set up a perfect screen. We still limited it to 7, but our defensive line, man, they were, again, a half a step short of getting him before he could even get the ball up. Or at some point, if you're that close, jump, get the arms up. A pass defended right there or a block, it's just as good as a sack.
Get some pressure on him,
yeah. Yeah, we put pressure the entire game on this guy. The sacks are eluding us. And it's just a half a step short of making a game-changing play.
That one would have been big.
Now they're going to run it again, and they lost yards. They lost 1 yard. So
they got the same running attacking scheme that CU has. Like, we're going to try it, and we're going to keep losing yards.
Oh, yeah. Well, on this play, honestly, given the stat I saw earlier, I would fully expect they're going to look for a running back coming out of the backfield because CU gives up a lot of yards to running backs out of the backfield.
What are they team stats wise? Utah is up to
164 yards total.
Yeah,
maybe
21 yards rushing. So they're having the same problem. So CU only has 47, but remember, 51 of those came on 2 rushes.
Yeah.
So
they got him right as he released it. Again. It led to an errant throw. Going to be punting to CU. But CU's got to figure out a way to move the ball. Looking at Isaac Wilson there, he's hobbling because the CU guy got blocked into his lower half. And, kind of looks like he rolled an ankle ever so slightly underneath there. But, CU's got to figure out how to move this ball, eat some of the clock here because we have 1:50 left to the 4th quarter. But we got to eat some clock right now and figure this out. I mean, even if we go down and kick a field goal, if we can take it, run 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, now there's only about 10 minutes left in the game, and we're up by, even if it's field goal, 31-16. I mean, it's a 2-score, 2-touchdown plus a 2-point conversion lead. That's big.
Well, I think it's the confidence that you can actually hold the ball and sustain a drive that's not like 2 or 3 plays and they all have to be big plays. We don't need that right now. We need to settle down and be like, okay, I know that the identity of Colorado is these big plays, but take 3 yards at a time and make third down and 3 instead of third down and 10.
There we go. All right, that was a little had a running back right across the line, just kind of moved up, but still positive yards. 4 yards on that play. It was almost looked like it was going to be an end around, not an end around, but a quick handoff to the guy in motion as he came across the line. But instead, it was, come on, baby. Juke a little. Yeah, all right, first down. We moved the chains with that. Key. Shadur evaded a guy that was about to sack him and managed to dump it to his running back, and the running back made a guy miss. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Utah guy was right there. Oh, right back to the flanker screen, and hey, That was actually a positive play right there. We got about 5 yards on that play.
No way. The flanker screen does nothing.
Oh, no. Look at that. They changed up who they've got out there. They've got Omari and, D. Miller. I don't know who that is. Who's D. Miller? Let's look that guy up.
Miller, he's played in a couple of games, and he's been a good
Draylon Miller.
change. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the favorite target right now for Shadur. Look at that. Down the field, Hunter just made about a 15-yard catch, but we're just throwing it again. We got to run the ball a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, they give up runs so quickly. Like, we had the success, but our identity is running or throwing. No. Like, you got the time right now. You got a 12-point lead. You're milking the clock. You're moving the ball.
Yeah. Come on. We're right at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10. Run this. Oh, Shadur, get out of the way and get rid of it. Oh, threw it to Hunter for about a 20-yard catch. Hunter went down. They had a guy run short, and Hunter went long and went right into the hole.
Nice.
So it was a sideline route, and Shadur had to move out of the pocket again.
29 yards down to the 16. So a sustained drive. End of the third. This is what we needed, and this is what we needed earlier in the third quarter, though. It gets to the point where it's unnecessary for us to get in these situations, and then you have a drive like this. So it shows that they can put it together and they can do it.
I agree.
They give away a lot of opportunities.
They do. I can't wait for next week and watching the thing. Indiana against Ohio State next Saturday.
That's going to be a
Come
big
on,
game.
go Indiana.
Yeah.
What a story, Indiana. The coach is a first-year coach, and he had coached at the D2, not the D2, but the FBS level, I think, and been a very, very successful coach. And Indiana hired him. They looked at it as, what do we got to lose? I mean, we haven't had a winning season, and who knows?
Now we've undefeated for the first time, 10-0 in the history. They're doing good.
Yeah, number 5 in the nation right now. I mean, I look at that as that's a great story this year. And I'm going to tune into that game just to hopefully watch the Ohio State go down.
Well, it's not happening today. 31-7 with 3:36 left, but Northwestern is driving. Texas is now up 20-10.
Yeah, they're up by 10 again, and with 8 minutes left in the fourth in that game. Clemson still 17-7 there, and Tulane is
added to their lead. Yeah,
28-zip. And let's hear. Alabama's in the second quarter against Mercy. They're up 14-zip.
That one's going to be not a good showing.
No, that's going to be a blowout. Let's see here. Looking at
what the other big games are tonight. Oregon, Wisconsin is big. Tennessee, Georgia's big. Yep. BYU plays Kansas. I mean, Kansas showed up last week, and Kansas won a game they shouldn't have won, I think, against Iowa State last week. So it'd be wonderful if they showed up again.
And Kansas, they're improving. They're actually an improving team. They're giving everybody fits right now, starting to – that's the reason. I don't think if we win this game, going to play Kansas at Arrowhead Stadium, which is just nightmares for any Colorado teams. I mean, Arrowhead is just
the history of Colorado football in Arrowhead Stadium is you knew if a playoff spot was on the line, you would not get it when you came out of there.
No, well, and I mean, honestly, I have bad memories. Denver last week getting a 30-some-odd yard field goal blocked to win the game. So now CU's going to go in there and go, great. What are they?
You still
they're saying they didn't get the playoff before the period ended.
Which
or
one?
The quarter ended. Yeah.
The one to Hunter?
Yeah, on that pass play, 30-yard pass play, they didn't get the snap off before the quarter ended. There was 3 seconds left, and then they were snapping it, and they didn't snap it until it read double zeros.
Wow. So I don't
That's
know.
on Shador. That's on
Well, it's
Shador to
on
make.
Shador, but
He's looking
yeah, I
right
think
at the clock.
the
You've got to.
refs have been critical all day.
Yeah, especially of CU, that's for sure.
But yeah, no, they got it
Wiped
right.
out a 29-yard gain, and now we're back at the 45-yard line, I think, or 50-yard line. That's just, man, that was a big play. It was a good play, and I mean that's the third or fourth big play that's been wiped out by either something like that or a penalty today, where CU had a lot of yards come back.
Yep.
Oh, now
Yeah,
they're get rid of Shador. Oh, that wasn't. You threw into double coverage. You threw into tight coverage on Hunter and the safety. Oh, he's being held. He was being held a second ago, but still, Shador.
yeah. When someone's being double covered, find the person who's not.
Yeah, that means somebody's not being double covered.
Yep.
That's just it. Those are my knocks on Shador. Holds on to the ball too long, and he doesn't take some of the plays that he should be taking.
Well, right. Yeah, I mean that's just not
Oh, there we tried to run it now and just lost 3 yards. So 3rd and 13 now. Again,
we went
get
from
back to that.
first and 10 down on the 18-yard line to now 3rd and 13 on the 48.
Yeah, that's just it. And that was terrible blocking up front. Terrible blocking. Utah was 2 yards in our backfield by the time the running back even got the ball.
Well,
And now we haven't shown an ability of our receivers to separate from their cornerbacks today. And as a result of that, I just don't know. I mean, this will be interesting.
this will
Come
be
on,
a
snap it.
big
1
third
second
down.
left. Don't take another penalty. Right down the middle of the field. Number 6, touchdown.
All right.
Hey, it was a pass play down the seam, almost in the middle of the field.
On the money.
Yep. Right down the seam.
Well, but getting back to 2 plays ago, regardless of this one, so he hit Miller for 47 yards for the touchdown, which is great. But getting back to the 2 plays ago, 3 plays ago before he threw that to Hunter. When you watch that replay, all the receivers release. Like there's not one person coming underneath. That's your safety outlet. Like just have somebody look as though they're going deep, cut it across the middle. There's your outlet. And you're going to pick up 8, 9 yards, 12 yards every time because you've cleared everyone out. Everyone's deep.
I know. That's the
we don't have layers to the offense. Maybe that's the piece that we don't look at.
Yeah, that could be. We could have 3rd and 3 and the receivers are running 15-yard routes.
Yeah.
There's never a guy running 4 yards or 2 yards or whatever. It just isn't.
Just to get across the sticks and move the chains.
Yeah, that's what I don't get about Shermer. This is what baffles me the most is, if they would, like you said, add layers to it, can you imagine how much more dangerous this offense would be?
And that's where your quick chip. I like your idea of the running back who is just there and then he can release, or the tight end. There's your guys. But in that play, I wish they would go back and show that play. You had 5 wideouts and they were all doing long routes. So get the most outside guy on the right hand side, on the trip side, to sprint 10 yards and then cut it and shoot across. And so
I know.
You've got an option.
You do. They're playing man-to-man coverage. And on top of that, from the receiver standpoint, Utah's expecting us to run routes vertically, and they're just playing for them. From a receiver perspective, put a foot in the ground and break across because the linebackers are clearing out.
Yep.
And now you do. Even if it's 5 yards here, 5 yards there, dink and dunk a little bit, then take it down the field.
Well, it opens the option for running when you're not always in 3rd and 10. But the
Yeah.
stats lines here, so an update on stats doesn't tell the story of the game. I mean, we're up to 288 total yards, 243 passing, 45 rushing. We're
Yeah.
up 35-16, but this could be 20-21.
Yeah, totally.
And it's only a couple. And on the flip side, Utah got the one big play to get the touchdown. They
Yeah.
could be down even farther, but they've missed, like you had noted a number of times. They had 3 field goals at one point, which showed that they had short fields. They couldn't convert on it.
Yeah.
Had those 2 of those 3 gone in for touchdowns, it would have been
Yeah.
a 21-17 game at halftime.
Yeah. I mean, and we've got to find a little bit of a middle ground when it comes to it. Because the other side is if you got some shorter routes they're running and stop with these flanker screens, now Shadur can get rid of the ball faster.
Yes.
He doesn't have to sit in the pressure constantly.
I
Let
think
him
they
get rid
showed,
of the ball.
2 weeks ago when we were watching it, didn't they have a stat up there saying that he held it for like 4.7 seconds on average or something like that? And
Yeah.
that was like more than a second then, or maybe it was 3.7 seconds. And it was more than a second that beyond what your average quarterback and those high level quarterbacks are holding it. They're getting it out below 3 seconds most of the time because they can read that, they can progress through their reads that fast. Of nope, okay, I'll take that. And
Yep.
that's to take that 5 yards, right?
Yeah, it is. And the problem is there's no underneath routes for him. So
Yep.
everything is down the field. So he has to hold the ball to allow the route to develop. And half the time he's running for his life while he's trying to eat. I mean, it's a great trait that number one, he's athletic enough to escape and buy time. Number two is he does keep his eyes down the field. The problem is sometimes throw it away. Live to
Oh,
fight another down rather than, throwing it into double coverage and things like that. In the
agreed.
NFL, that will not work very well. There we go. Utah, get the ball back immediately. What do? Go down the seam and throw a 25-yard strike. Perfect. Guess what? That play's been open all day for CU to exploit too.
Yep. All I can say, Deion Sanders and Sanders family, when you see this podcast, build some layers in. Get 2 tight end sets in there where you keep one of your tight ends in to help block on some of these and release the second guy, and you can switch it up. But that guy gives you that 5 or 6 yard out that you need when, like you just said, everyone's running 15, 20-yard routes. That takes a while to develop.
Yeah. Well, and
Something
second
easy.
of all, if you're listening to this, Sanders family, go down the middle. Talk to Shermer. Run some guys down the middle, especially when they're playing 2 deep zone. The middle is always going to be open. And if you can put a tight end down there or Shepard, who's a 6'5" guy, he can make those plays. Shadur can throw the ball. We know that. Just give him some more outlets that are faster developing plays that he can, exploit a defense.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
It'll open up,
you could see what they could have done. Utah could have done on that 25-yarder where they threw it down the seam. On the replay from the quarterback view, he had his running back 6 yards out in front of the line with no one around because all the linebackers had been cleared out. So he had options. He could go to the long guy, which he did.
Yep.
Or he could go to the short guy who probably still would have got 12, 14 yards.
Oh, yeah. Big 3rd and 3 here. It's clear. Utah there, Isaac Wilson, he's been a little more accurate the last couple drives. He's actually starting to throw some dimes out there, which, CU's D is having to defend this. And this is a big 3rd down right here because I could see them, even if they don't get this on 3rd, they're going to go for it on 4th because they're down by 19 points right now.
And they're on the positive side. Yeah, they're on the positive side. And he has improved. I mean, at one point we were at, 40%?
Yeah.
And now he is up to 16 out of 32. So he's upped it by 10%, which means that he actually is hitting probably 70% of his passes since that time to up that percentage.
Yeah. And again, he just threw another strike for a 1st down. They needed 3, he got 7. I mean, in the second half,
going for the 15 yards.
9 of 13 in the second half for over 100 yards.
Yep. So he's made the adjustments.
Yeah. And our D has got to stop these guys right here. We need a sack. Oh, down the middle again. Down the middle.
They're eating them up in the middle. Well, because they see it. They're exploiting it, right?
Yeah, well, we're just dropping into a zone right now. And
That same so the play 2 plays ago where they got that first down for 3-4 yards past the line, when they showed that QE cam again on the replay, the dude behind him, the dude with the hair, the locks, 85, he was the secondary target, and he could have easily had him as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. They're dropping in behind the linebackers, dropping the ball in. CU's got to shut them down here. Well, they're honestly doing something that, CU hasn't been able to do all game. They're abandoning their running game and now making plays. I mean, look at that.
It's the same two outlets. Number 2 wide open in the middle, or 85 over the middle. Like either of them.
They're running and that was an underneath throw right there. The guy went out 5 yards. Linebackers were too deep. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And offensive line, they're holding right now for Utah. The D-line is not getting any pressure on him, giving him enough time where he can find a target. And it's clear that Utah's made adjustments in their play calling and what they're doing, and CU's not making the adjustments on D. Our D coordinator needs to make a couple adjustments here.
Oh, but every play outside of the first couple on this drive has been those options of 2 players right in the middle.
Yeah. Well, and they just got a first down, first and goal at the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
So, this is not good. I mean, we've shut the running game down, but their passing game's coming to life. I mean, if they score a touchdown here, we're back to, again, 11, 12 point
I wouldn't be
game.
surprised. They're probably going to go for 2 to try and get it to 24, which means then you just need the field goal and the 3-point or the 2-point.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is more of a game than we want, sitting here at the moment. That's for sure.
Yep.
And I mean, our D's played a great game. I mean, 6 of their 16 points were very short fields.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd sense if CU can hold here.
Nope, they didn't. They gave up a touchdown to another big wideout, 84. It looks like he's 6'6". And our defensive back was behind him and couldn't get around. He had good – I mean, he's got to have front – yeah, that was just – he's got to fight through that guy to get a hand around.
Yep.
That was just – here they go, going for 2.
Yep. This would be a good one to stop.
And right as Wilson let the ball go, he was getting hit again. I mean, but we are that half step short of hitting him.
That dude's tall, 84, loner.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Throwback. Oh, we overcommitted on that. That was so pathetic. They threw back to an offensive lineman. Did they say he was eligible?
They must have. That gets him to 24.
The announcers were just saying he wasn't he never announced eligible, but they said because it was a backyard or a backwards pass, a lateral, it was legal. If it would have been a forward pass, it would have been ineligible.
It was backwards. Yeah, that's for sure.
Good gosh, man. Back to what?
Why? Again, we're back to the nail biter for no reason, because now this next position really matters. If CU goes 3 and out, and Utah has a chance to continue, they've got the momentum right now. I mean, I have to say Wilson was lights out on that. If he had one incompletion that entire drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's now up to 20 for 36.
Yeah, that was probably one of the worst defensive drives I've seen our D have in a while, where we just could not we couldn't get pressure.
Nope.
And we left the middle of the field open the entire drive.
Every single play. Outside of the first couple, it was the back chipped and stepped up into where the linebackers vacated, and that tight ends series of tight ends over the middle. So he had his choice. Do I go long or do I go short? Either of them are open every play.
Yep, they're open, which is just not what you want to see. I'd rather see a dominating performance where Utah hasn't scored, 14 points or 15 points now in the second half.
Yep.
I mean, we've had to score a bunch of points just to keep the differential where it is, but that's not, what was it, 21-9 at half? So they've actually outscored us by a point so far in the second half.
Yep.
So
that was a very sharp drive by Utah.
It was disappointing D on our end. That was where we needed the D to step up and get a big stop right there, just a big stop.
Yeah, and they couldn't get out of their own way.
And
Texas
the thing
still
is,
up 20-10.
Like all game long, we're not blitzing hardly at all. We're just rushing four every time. And if we're rushing four, we have 7 in coverage. How are we leaving some of these big holes?
But they're all dropping back. The linebackers on all those plays. You saw all those replays from the quarterback side of it. There was no linebacker to be seen because they all dropped back to cover the deeper person.
Yeah.
That's going to be the other next adjustment that Utah is going to make is, hey, now we're getting their linebackers out of position. Let's just keep dumping it to the low guy, and let's get our 7-8 yards a shot.
Absolutely. And then as soon as the linebackers drop closer to the line of scrimmage, then they're going to turn around and say, we're going to throw it over their head.
Throw it over the top. Yeah.
At that point, CU's D needs to make an adjustment and put 2 safeties high and tell them, you guys that are covering on the outside, the outside corners, you have no help. We're keeping the safeties in the middle. We're going to pull the linebackers towards the line of scrimmage a little bit more to take away that. But we're going to cheat the safeties down a little bit. And you guys are on an island. You either make the play or it's a touchdown.
Exactly. Next 2 weeks are going to be awesome for IU versus Ohio State. And then I know that Michigan's not as good this year, but Michigan, Ohio State, I sense that Michigan's run with Ohio State is going to be over.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's going to be a tough one. Hey, look, they got Peggy on the TV there. Peggy Coffin.
Peggy.
And all right, this is a key drive here. We got to sustain a drive.
Get some points. If they can get a field goal out of this, that puts it at 2 touchdowns.
Oh, Shadur. Oh, my gosh. How did he escape that? Oh, my God. I thought he was sacked for sure.
Did he get positive yards or did he at least get back?
He ran for 9 yards after. And he's disgusted. He's like, dude, I am tired of running for my life right now. I don't even know how he escaped it. When the delay finally gets over for you, you'll see it.
Well, I'll be glad when they move to away from Fox maybe next week, and I can actually be ahead of you by 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I wonder what next week, a national TV broadcast or what?
You said it's at Arrowhead and it's the Kansas game, right?
It is. It is, and I know it's picked up on nationally, but I didn't see where it was.
I'm hoping it's just an ESPN game.
That'd be nice. It'd be nice just to have that. All right, we got a first down there. We're on the 40-yard line. They tried a little read option there, and Shadur brought the defensive end to him, pitched it out wide. We got about 5 yards on that. But our running back is holding his left arm as he comes off. So I either got a stinger, looks like shoulder, maybe. Something like that, but he ran off just kind of letting that left arm kind of holding it in that position like, ow, I hurt. But we got 2 yards on it. At least it was 2 positive yards. Let's see what'll happen now. Oh, good. Oh, and Shepard caught it, made a move, and then fumbled it right at the 50-yard line, and we lost it.
No, come on now.
That's one of those things where catch the ball and just go down sometimes. Don't sit there and always be trying to make a play. He's got it. Oh, Utah guy smacked it out of his hand.
Yeah, it's a good play. I mean, it's again, both of them are trying to make additional yards, and here you go. You give it up, and that's not good. Again, it goes back to unnecessarily being close. Now, if Utah continues with the momentum, let's say they go down, they get themselves a touchdown and 2 points. Now you're at a 3-point game. Something that was out of reach at 19 points or whatever it was is now a 3-point game, and you're playing just to hold on now rather than to win.
They're reviewing it to see if he had full control. I think he had control. He did bobble it as he caught it.
I don't think he had full
like
control.
bobbled it as he went to put it away.
It flipped around, and then it just happened to be in position right when he got hit. That's not possession.
Yeah, because he tries to get it.
This would be a big call.
I think he had possession of it. I think it's a fumble.
Well, if you look at how the refs have been calling everything all day, it can only go one direction.
Oh, I agree with you. Let's see what he's going to say. Yep.
Utah?
Yep.
Yep. All right, so if we're going to have a big defensive stand, this would be your big one.
Yeah, 7 minutes left. We're down, or we're up by 11. This is
the third
seriously
short field that you're giving them today.
Yeah, this is the third time today, third turnover today. This is just bad. I mean, CU has got to figure some stuff out here. This has actually been a bad game.
It's been a horrible game. Yeah.
They just have looked out of sync the entire day on offense. And ball protection has not been number one today by any means.
No.
And defensively, we're not sacking this guy. Oh, he fumbled it. Well, all right, that's as good as I don't think it'll go down as a sack, but it looks like our D lineman swatted the ball out of his hand, and they just lost about 10 yards. I think our D lineman and Odie. Oh yeah, he totally lost it. Our D lineman, I think, pushed the the O lineman back into him and knocked the ball out of his hand. So here we go down the middle of the field again. First down again. Right down the middle of the field. Exactly. He ran the same route last time, an in-breaking route. Did it again.
Oh, again. They're not going to give up on that play when you got that cushion every time.
Our cornerback was in front of him and fell down. Otherwise, you had him. Oh, come on. This is seriously ridiculous.
Well, Utah, kudos for Utah for continuing to run that play. Look, that running back is wide open every time.
I know.
It doesn't matter if it goes to Ryan 85. Number 2 coming out of the back is wide open.
Wide open. At some point, switch to a man-to-man D at that point. Start playing man-to-man.
You got
Stop
3
playing
people
this
around
soft
him.
zone.
Yeah.
And give the O-line a little bit of help. Put some more pressure on this guy so he doesn't have time to make that throw.
Bring a blitz. Bring some linebackers.
Oh, they're going to get him. They were going to get him, but no. Picked off. Number 8.
All right.
Thank goodness.
Hey, trade turnover for turnover, but they need to solve that middle of the field thing where, I think you're exactly right. They're playing just that soft zone right now. They've got 3 players tackling them every time, but that means he has enough room to catch it. And my concern is that dude underneath has acres of land to run if he ever gets the ball.
Oh, I know. And that interception right there. That was totally the result of the pressure that was on him. We were literally, he was running for his life.
He should have thrown it away if he was smart about it. He would just thrown it out of bounds.
Well, Sanders would have probably tried the same thing.
I know. But you look at it, he had no options. He could have just shuttled it sideways and been fine.
He should have, because at the end of the day, his target that was dead ahead of him, a CU guy was in front of him. And close enough that you couldn't even try to fit a ball in. That would have been a pick, and long was a pick. So, yeah, that was not a good decision by that guy.
That one could be the killer for Utah because they had all the momentum.
Yeah, that could be. Well, we got commercial real quick. Recap: the Ohio State won 31-7 over Northwestern. Texas managed to hang on for a 20-10 win against Arkansas. And Clemson right now only up 17-10. They scored all their points early in that game, and Pitt is slowly chipping away at it.
Yep. That would be a big one for Pitt to take down Clemson. I know that would not help Colorado in where they currently sit, but
No. But
that's all right. It
at
would.
the end of the day, Colorado just needs to get the W here and get out of here. I mean, Utah has their number. I mean, they won 9 of the last 10. I mean, the last time we beat them is 2016. That's the last time we beat these guys. So, honestly, to go against the number one defense in the Big 12, and their D's good. I mean, they're
Well, and to put up 35 points so far.
Yeah, so far. You know, we've done some good things, but there's been a lot to clean up going into Kansas next week.
They certainly blew out the over-under of 44.5.
Oh, yeah, totally.
When they're sitting at 59 right now.
Yeah, I should have bet the house on that if I'd have known better and been like, all right, cool.
We'll take it, yeah.
But I'm sure it's one of those for every $100 you spent, you get $5 back on the over-under. So
exactly, yeah.
Not getting a big return. You certainly couldn't retire tomorrow if you put $100 down.
Yep. Not on that bet.
Dude, hey, look at that. Got another listener. Corey Chelf joined in. Look at that.
All right, Corey. Yeah, we agree with you. This has been the sloppiest game in weeks that we've seen.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. The flanker screen goes for no yards again. Check that out. That is even Hunter's like, why are we calling that play constantly?
Yeah. I know they keep going to it because they think at some point they're going to get it and they're going to break it, right?
Yeah, right.
And does that make it worth it? No, because look at how many punts that you've had because of that play.
It's 2nd and 10 now, or 2nd and 11. Utah just called the first time out with 5 minutes, 45 seconds left. If Utah can hold them here, we're going to reverse the field with a punt. It's 2nd down. I know that. But if, say, they force us to punt, we'll pin them deeper. But still, we now gave them life again with the ball. Why don't we play with a thing of, hey, let's go score points and let's put this game away because we're putting it away, not we're hanging on.
Oh, they've been hanging on since the second quarter when they couldn't put anything together. It's that last drive of the first half.
Yep.
And a couple big plays in the second half that's only kept them alive. Otherwise, take away all the yards that those two big plays plus that last drive.
Yeah.
Their offense has done nothing for 2.5 hours.
Wide open number 6 again. Oh, guess what? Middle of the field, I'll tell you. Middle of the field again.
All right. Hey.
Apparently, Pat Shermer did tune into our broadcast for a little while, and we're helping him out right now.
He's listening. Hey, go after the same thing that Utah is going after.
Yeah. He's saying, well, those Buff Bros, maybe they do know something. I guess that's why we're going to, maybe we'll tune
They get to see it from way up top. It's easy to see the plays developing.
Oh, yeah. There goes Shador. He made 1 yard, but that's all right. Keeps the clock rolling. Let's see. Unless Utah called timeout, the clock's not moving. Why is the clock not moving right now? Utah must have called another timeout.
So that leaves them with 1.
Yeah.
That was a big dagger play, though. Number 6. Was that Ballard?
What's his name?
Miller.
Number
That's
6
Miller.
there is Miller, I think.
Yeah, that was a big dagger play of that many yards.
It was. That guy, let's put it this way. That guy coming into the year, he had 19 total receptions coming into this game. We're in the 10th game of the year, and he's probably had 7 receptions a day.
Yeah. Oh, he's doing a good job.
He is. He's managing to get open. Why are the rest of the wideouts, including Travis Hunter, not able to get open today? Why is it this guy all of a sudden can get open?
I know. Well, because whatever, it doesn't matter. Whoever else they're putting on all the other players, these are the dudes. He was where did he catch that? In the middle, underneath.
Middle of the field. Oh, are they going to get us for a false start? Yeah, they're going to get us for a false start. Take us back 5 more yards. Come on, CU. You're just coming out of a timeout that Utah called, and you can't even get the snap count.
Yeah. Well, 1st and 10, at Pittsburgh in the red zone.
Let's see how that goes. Yeah, Pitt. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that they just panned to the sideline there of the offensive line coach going. He's just shaking his head. I mean, you come out of a timeout. There's zero reason for a pre-snap mental error right there. And here goes Shadur. He was running, and now he threw. Nice, right at the marker. Are they going to give it to him? Let's see here. Maybe by the hair of the chinny chin chin with the football.
It's going to be
First
close.
and goal. They gave it to him.
1st and goal. All right. Yeah. Oh, this would be crazy. They're going to all that to hand it off to a guy for like 3 yards.
Yeah. Let's see what they do. Oh, he was settled down perfect. That was actually a really good play and a really good ball placement. Let's see. Bring in some tight ends, quit spreading the field, and let's just smack this ball in from the 4-yard line. Let's run it in.
Yeah, agreed.
But no, we're not going to do that. I bet it's a fade.
Dual set tight end.
Oh, no, he did. He broke through. Offerdahl? Yeah, Offerdahl. That guy earned a scholarship last year. The kid was a walk-on.
Yep.
And last year, after like the first 4 or 5 games, I think Sanders rewarded him with a scholarship. And at one point, he was the number 1 back listed last year. So good for that kid.
There you go.
Well, he made it through. He's a tiny guy, and that's the only reason he got in the end zone, because that was a tiny hole. I'm not even sure you could call that a hole that the offensive line opened up. He just slid between
Like
two
he
guys.
went in between legs, yeah.
Yeah, basically, it was like a hobbit running out there with these 6'6" guys, and they lost sight of him going, where'd he go?
Well, that at the end of the day, that should take care of it. But again, as we've been talking about this entire time, like, not the story of the day. The story, I can't continue to be these big plays. Like, there's no consistency on offense.
No.
Everything's a big play or bust. We have no running game. Like, the offensive line didn't show up today. Defensive line was a step short all day long of really having a ridiculous day. Like, they could have had 6, 7, 8 sacks.
Yeah, they could have easily, but yeah, it's just not there today. I mean, we're managing to pull it out where we are certainly, look at that. Peggy. They got it in on Peggy right now.
Peggy.
Oh my God. I can't believe 100 years old and you're still attending CU games.
Yeah.
Hats off to her. That's for sure. Hats off to her.
Oh, she's crushing it. Even I remember her and her sister and spending time with them in the at all those different games, sitting in between them, sitting next to them, sitting on them, and they were the super fans back then. So
I love that. Oh, well, I like to say, hey, for anybody out there, my son Ryan, he gets to go to the Oklahoma State game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's going day after Thanksgiving. He gets to go to the Oklahoma State game. So while we're broadcasting, and hopefully there's nobody from work on here. Nope, there's not. I can see that there's nobody from work because I'll be working while I'm broadcasting at the same time. Hopefully it's going to be a quiet day the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, I sense it'll be quite a quiet day.
I think so. I'll be able to sit there and broadcast, and that'll be that. I'll be working out here on that day because everybody else got the day off. I mean, my wife's got the day off. The kids are all home. I mean, why not just make me work that day?
Yeah, I got the day off.
Yeah, so I'll be broadcasting here while I'm supposed to be. Oh, did get him sacked.
Finally.
Good.
Is that the second, third sack of the day finally?
Yeah, finally. But yeah, so I'll be working at the same time I might be doing a little broadcasting here. But unfortunately, when I made the move to my new company earlier this year, the day after Thanksgiving, they have a limit of 9 managers off, and there were already 9 managers off when I got here. So there was a big whole lot of nothing for me to be able to take the day off.
It's all good. It'll be our secret.
It will be our secret because I'm pretty sure none of them are going to be on this podcast.
Well, yeah, we'll keep it on the lowdown.
Sure, you will be working. Look at that. The internet trolls are coming out. They're not. Our podcast isn't even immune from the internet trolls.
Oh yeah, you should be working. We should be working today. I mean, it's Saturday.
We should. We are working. We're working hard right now, trying to bring some form of train wreck entertainment to people. So that
I feel like we've pieced together an okay broadcast. We need to work on the stats piece of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely to work on the stats. Oh my gosh, he has all day to throw. Is somebody going to put any pressure on him? There we go.
Right in the middle.
Oh, shoestring tackle. That's all right. It's going to be 3rd and 10 right now. And look at that. Warren Sapp's over there howling at the moon like a dog. I mean, he's got his mohawk. Yeah. There he is. I like him. I actually think the energy. There was a video earlier this year where they were in fall, before the season ever started. He went against a D-line guy who was trying to show him something, said, all right, you do it to me. And that D-line guy knocked him on his ass. Oh, Warren. A sack, fumble, a strip sack, fumble, and we got it.
Nice. Who was on it?
Oh, and the quarterback is having a hard time getting up. One of the D linemen's on it, but the quarterback, he's been pounded. Like I said, even though we don't have all the sacks, he has been picking himself up off the ground all game long.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we finally blitzed. We did. We blitzed. And the blitzer came free. Oh, Shiloh Sanders was the blitzer and just put his helmet right in the middle of his chest.
Well, and that's what happened last weekend as well, right? Shiloh Sanders.
Yep.
Johnny on the spot at the end of the game, yeah.
Scoop and score. Well, all right. Here's where we just got to run the ball. Oh, no, of course we spread it. We're probably going to run it, but why not just bring everybody in and run the ball?
Run out the clock. They got one timeout left. They're already up 18.
Oh, there we go. Sanders made a nice play, He escaped pressure and got it down to about. I can't do it. I'm still broadcasting, dude. Sorry.
You got a lot of things you got going on there.
I got 3 minutes, dude. Sorry, the dog's going crazy here because we have an unexpected guest.
That's all right.
Hold on a second. I'll be back. Who did that?
Excellent play. Sanders coming around. I'm just now catching up to you down to the 5.
Sanders scores a touchdown. There we go. 49-24.
Oh, that's Hunter. That's Sanders.
Oh, that was Hunter. Hunter scored.
Oh, that'll help him.
That will help him. I mean, he gave up a touchdown today. He had an interception, and now he scored a touchdown, and he had a sweet highlight reel catch. So, okay. He's had an okay day.
He's done all right. Let's see. No one's going to touch Miller as the statistical reception leader today. Eclipsed 100 yards.
Yeah, there's Corey chiming in. Talent at wide receiver is ridiculous. I can't agree with you more on that. It doesn't matter who they put out there.
I think that, and we talked about it earlier, Corey, like the challenge is that they leverage too much of the downfield streakiness of and speed of the wide receivers, and the layer component is missing, and they just need to build in some of these really fast receivers cutting across early, and they'll eat it up, but they don't. Everyone's like I don't know, what do they call it, a streak play or
a vertical route. They're all running vertical routes,
and just hoping that Sanders can put it on them. If they could exploit that and actually have some layers with all 5 of those receivers.
Yeah, I agree. Well, whoever's coming over to my house, I got my golden retriever out there. If you can see my golden retriever, he's just going ape crap right now. I'm sure he's going to tear the screen off of the back door because he has some separation anxiety issues, just small ones. I mean, just small separation anxiety problems. Right now, I wish I could put enough CBD in him to get him to just go to sleep for about 4 hours. But that's all right. That's how it goes.
2:22 left in the game.
Yeah.
24-49. It's in hand at this point, but due to a number of big plays. Kudos to Colorado for capitalizing on a couple late turnovers, which really extended the cushion out a little bit, up to 405 yards total, 340 of that passing, 65 rushing, 3 turnovers. Like, they got to clean it up. 2 fumbles lost, 1 interception.
I know. And next week I will be broadcasting from in the basement where I can control any interruptions because I think I'm about to have to step out of this.
Yeah, hey, no, I can close it down from here. We're only 207 minutes in.
Oh, yeah, we're only 2 something, so all right. I guess I'll sign off on our podcast today because I think I'm done now.
Sounds good. I'll
right.
make it through. Good seeing you, man. All right, well, there you go. One half of the Buff Brothers is out, and now you're stuck with me, at least for the last 222. Although those of you who are viewing this game in from the mountain region or other regions, you've got an advantage. We were talking about this earlier. My cast out here on the East Coast actually has about a 23-second delay as to what you are seeing out west. So you're seeing the plays before me. So I apologize for tuning in and providing some commentary on what you may have already seen. But at this point, ball game in hand, lots of things that Colorado needs to fix over the next week. Certainly, I think we were talking earlier. The next game is at Kansas, at Arrowhead, of which most Colorado teams, most notably the Broncos, have not had the best luck. And certainly in my lifetime, when they would go to Arrowhead with something important on the line, the Broncos tended to not come out on the victory end of that. Kansas playing a little bit better, but lots of things that we need to clean up from a Colorado perspective going into that next week. I had a lot of really good commentary on some good players, some good key plays throughout the course of the day. No doubt that Colorado is a very dangerous team when they can actually block the offensive line. Had some serious challenges today. Shedeur probably ran for 3 times as many yards as we have on paper for our rushers. And, Travis Hunter had himself a day with, I think the stat line is 55 yards. He did get beat on a long 50 yard a touchdown, which is, I think, the first one that he's given up this year. I think he had given up 125 yards coming into today where he was targeted. He's now and gave up 75 yards at some point plus a touchdown. So not his best day either, but he did have an interception and quite a reversed run through for a 4-yard touchdown here to extend the lead to 49-24. So at the 2-minute warning, let's do a little bit of a refresh on stats here. Utah with their young quarterback Isaac Wilson, he started off in a tough go. I think he's 55.7% completion percentage for the most of the year. Fell well below that in the first half. In fact, Utah had, I think, less than 60 yards or slightly less than 70 yards for the entire first half. But he came out. They made the adjustments. A couple long drives by Utah kept it close, and they were these seam routes right down the middle where the dump off for the running back was always there, and they would just go over the top of that and get 20 plus yards per completion. So Wilson really came back strong from a first half that had 50 yards passing. He's now up to 236, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's a big piece of the game. Between the two teams, 7 total turnovers, 4 on Utah, 3 on Colorado. Utah early had some turnovers, and as we discussed, were only able to cash in a couple of those for field goals. They did get a bunch of short fields and cashed one in for a touchdown. Colorado had a really nice special teams play in the first half and had a long kickoff return for a touchdown, which gave them that cushion that they needed because their offense was severely stuttering and sputtering in the first half. So we've got some work to do. Kansas is on paper still has a losing record, but at the end of the day, they played hard. They beat Iowa State last week. They've got their game against BYU tonight, which we'll see if BYU has any hangover at this point from their miracle escape against Utah, which again we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, that Utah probably had a hangover. You got that rivalry game in state, and you come up barely short because of a controversial call on the referee side of things. Hard game. I think, as Greg noted at the outset of this, that Utah's had Colorado's number for the last decade. I think Colorado is 1-7 over the last 8 games, with the last victory over Utah being 2016, 2017. So it's been a long time coming. Utah's not at the caliber that Utah has been over the last 10 years. And quite honestly, we needed that today. I think they would have ran away with us if they had, or Utah may have run away with us if they had their accurate Cam Rising thrower in there for a quarterback, but of course he's been out for much of this season due to injury. So not a bad showing at the end of the day. Happy to see that they got the victory where they needed it. Still some ticks on the clock here left, but game wrapping up, and that'll move Colorado to 8-2 overall, 6-1 in the conference, and 2 winnable games coming up to get us to that championship game against potentially BYU if BYU runs the table, and that'll be a big one, because if you look at the standings of where all the teams are right now ahead of Colorado, I think they're number 17 in the rankings. Let me pull up some stats here on the rankings. See who they have in front of them for the NCAA top 25. Yep, we got Colorado at 17, Kansas State at 16. Kansas State still has a hard game against Iowa State to close out the season. You got A&M ahead at 15. SMU is 14, and they actually, I think we were talking about them earlier, have a clash today against Boston College, who I think people would have written off a couple of weeks ago. Boston College had a really nice game last week, upsetting Syracuse. Syracuse was the favorite there, and have some momentum, which is helpful. So if we can capitalize on some of these teams that stumble a little bit ahead of us, that's going to help move us up. But the danger of falling into those championship games and moving up into the top 12 potentially at the end of the year and being involved in the big dance is, as a low seed, you get the high seeds. And does Colorado match up against an Oregon and Ohio State, a Texas, a Penn State? Even Indiana doesn't show a lot of weaknesses right now. So those games are going to be important, but there's a lot of ifs going into that. So appreciate everyone joining today. Appreciated all the commentary and back and forth and comments that we've had. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for the initial Buffs Brothers podcast here and following the game. We promise to do better next time. We'll brush up on some additional stats, and hopefully we'll get some more commentary as we take on Kansas. But outside of that, have a great rest of your Saturday. Tune into that Georgia-Tennessee game. It's going to be a good one, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Signing off.